Not too sure he was the second one either, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyway, on to Newcastle, John.
Yeah,
So 7 games to go, of which I think all but, well, apart from the Tottenham game, they're all against teams, I think, from the sort of halfway and below. So you know, we've probably arguably got a relatively good run in compared to the other sort of teams around us, i.e. West Ham and Man United. Do you think it's achievable to get that 6th or 7th spot?
Oh, yeah, I do. I thought the weekend was a huge win because I think the majority of results of teams in and around us went for us. I think this weekend's another massive game. You know, I think you've got to look after yourself, Graham. You know, all you can do is just go and win games.
In our hands.
And then hope that one or two can do you a favour. But look at it. There's no doubt about it. It is doable. You just, the one thing you don't want is to pick up any more injuries. I mean, we're down to the bare bones as it is.
Yeah, we are. I mean, I thought that was the thing on Wednesday night, John. Tuesday against Everton, was the fact that Barnes, I think, ran himself into the ground in the first half, and we just lacked that intensity in the second half. Had we had somebody like, well, Gordon, for example, springs to mind. Had he been available, I think he undoubtedly, for me, would have been the difference between the two teams. It felt like, obviously, you know, it was 2 points dropped, but, and obviously a good win against Fulham was sort of made up for it a little bit. And as you rightly said, results went for us with Man United dropping a couple of points. So, you know, it ended up being a very good weekend. And I just think, you know, if we could from a 6th or 7th, when you take into consideration the crippling injuries we've had and the criticism that Eddie Howe's come under from some fractions of the media, mainly the southern bits, then I think he's done fantastically well. To get us to 6th or 7th would be a brilliant achievement.
Yeah, look, got the 2 quarter-finals as well. You know, when's the last time that ever happened? You know, and people were complaining about it. I think he's had to deal with an awful lot this season. You know, not just injuries, but the Tonali situation as well. I don't think that's helped the cause either. But I think he's dealt with it really, really well. And I'm with you. I think if he could finish 6th or 7th, I think you'd look back on this season and say it's been a relative successful season considering everything that we've had to go through.
No, absolutely. You know, and like I stated when I was last on 2 or 3 weeks ago, you know, some fans have got short memories. The ones who were 2 or 3 weeks ago, you know, you get Eddie Howe's not the right man to take us forward and all this sort of thing. You think, well, you know, to finish 6th or 7th this season with the injuries we've had, and as you pointed out, you know, Champions League, we're literally, 30 seconds away from getting to Wembley again when Trippier obviously slipped, Chelsea scored, so could quite, you know, we're literally that close to Wembley again. FA Cup, we draw Man City, you know, hard lines in the draw. So really, you know, when you look at the wider picture, although it has been disappointing as much as we're not going to finish in the Champions League like we did last year, it's still been a good season for me, you know, all things considered. And it's again, you know, it gives you a massive platform to improve for next season again.
Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. I mean, I always thought that this season was going to be an awful lot harder anyway. I thought it was going to be difficult to replicate what we did last season with the extra games and everything else that we had to contend with. But I never foreseen the injury situation that we have at this moment in time and have had for the majority of the season. So I think, as I said, I think if we can get to 6th or 7th in the league, I think it's been a relatively successful season.
Yeah, Graham, thank you very much indeed for talking to us this evening. Even if we don't have time to squeeze you on tonight, we'll certainly book you on for tomorrow night's show or Friday night's show, whenever you want to come on. 0800 234 6565, the number to call. 0800 234 6565. This message that doesn't have a name on it says Anthony Gordon's one of the worst in the league for diving, cheating and feigning injury. John failed to mention that when talking about Fabio Silva.
He's what?
He's one of the worst in the league, says this message.
Who's it from?
It's from a person who has either forgotten or chosen not to put their name at the end of it.
I don't go along with that.
I don't actually.
I don't. I think you're way out of. You want to watch Gordon play. He doesn't go down unless he's kicked.
And that's my point was going to be. I think he does get fouled a heck of a lot.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Way off line, I'm afraid. Way off.
What's
the bench? That says it all, doesn't it?
And just before we move on, I want to read a couple of sort of public service announcements, because we've got a few messages like this in tonight. So happy to plug these things. So this is from Duncan. He says, "Hi guys, did you know?" No, I didn't. That this weekend the Beacon of Light is hosting a leg of the Allied Mobility Wheelchair Rugby Fives. I don't know if you watched any of the wheelchair rugby.
Bishop. Lewis Hamir, Roberts, Mundell, Barr, Ashish, Hasheldi.
Isn't it just, yeah.
It's actually a great watch.
Yeah. Blimey. So this is Duncan said it's the first time it's ever visited the Northeast. This is at the Beacon of Light this coming weekend. And not only that, it'll see the Northeast Barbarians make their Premiership debut as well. Please tell everyone, Duncan says we want the weekend to be too epic to be ignored next year.
Thanks for tuning in.
This coming Sunday, the 14th of April, it's free entry. It's between 9 in the morning and 6 at night at the Beacon of Light Wheelchair Rugby.
Kevin says, I can't see anything with Leeds in. I think we all can say that, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
You actually feel sorry. You don't worry about the players, you watch just the wheelchairs. You made out of girders there.
It's not embarrassing.
A couple more. Jason in Cramlington says, I was just wondering if you can please help me on the 15th of May at Cramlington Village Club. We've got Super Mac, Malcolm McDonald and John Gibson and Junior Turner, him that sang the Europe songs. Doesn't mean anything to me. That reference passes me by, I'm afraid.
No.
That sang the Europe songs in the Champions League. We're struggling to sell the tickets. That's very honest of you.
Taking it out to my wife as well.
12 quid, 15 quid on the night. I was wondering if you can help. Please tell the good people of the Northeast on the show. Cheers, lads. Keep up the good work. So yeah, 15th of May, Cramlington Village Club. More than happy to plug that bit for you as well, Jason. And I'm sorry to end on a sadder one of the three, but this is Richard, who says, Colin, if you get the chance, could you mention the sad passing yesterday of former Northeast heavyweight boxer John Westgarth, who's from Brighton and Crawford. A popular fighter on the national scene in the 80s, famously defeated a young Glenn McCrory, whatever happened to him, at Gateshead Leisure Centre in the 80s as well. A lot of the older listeners will remember him. So Richard, thank you for that message. The passing of John Westgarth, and thank you for
another day's rain, and I think we'll get flooding here in Carlisle
as well. But Richard, thank you for your message, for getting in touch. If you want to message us, the numbers 08000 321 333. That's for WhatsApp. 08000 321 333. A text message is 81333. Start them all with the letters BBC.
Call free 0800 234 6565. Start your message with BBC and send it to 81333.
Text the charge to your standard message rate.
See our privacy notice at bbc.co.uk/local radio privacy.
Just before we have a chat with Kevin, who's a Sunderland fan, an update on Gateshead, who say that despite the best efforts of staff, volunteers, supporters and groundsmen throughout the day, the referee has deemed the pitch unsafe for play, and tonight's match has been postponed. That is... firstly, that's 16 minutes before kickoff. That's the first thing. The second thing is, there is no question that Gateshead...
It's just end of season vibes still, isn't it? It's like... I'm going to say, what's the point? It's more the case of like just going through the motions.
Yeah, we also have to sympathise with the older shop fans.
I think, to be quite honest with you, I think the top three are feeling it. They're getting to the business end of the season now, and if anybody's going to bottle it, I can see it being Ipswich. Just because of the lack of experience of being in the top flight, Leicester and Leeds, I think, could possibly hold their own. Prediction, Cabby. If we turn up 0-0, 1-1, if we don't turn up 3 or 4-0 Leeds United, I'm afraid. Right.
say relieved under any other season, but to be quite honest with you, I'd rather just get it out of the way. So, yeah, I'm pleased it's on. Although it has been a hairy ride around the roads today, I've got to say.
Yeah, it has, and I know there's been big disruption on the green as well. The man we were seeing earlier, actually, the weather down in Yorkshire has been not as bad. I'm not going to say it's been good, but not as bad today as we have had it up here. And interesting team selection in a couple of ways, right, Kevin?
Yeah, I think with a kind of a bit of an overwhelming sense that the club's kind of fulfilling its obligations with the EFL with these fixtures. There's not a great deal for us to play for. We're not going down, we're not going up. But I'm pleased that Campbell is playing, Colin, because I'd like to get a good look at the lad towards the end of the season. He's been sadly affected by injury for most of the season. He came with a growing sort of tributes behind him, so I'm pleased to be seeing him play. I'm pleased young Riggs playing again, starting the match. I think we want to see more of that. So from that point of view, great. I might have liked to have seen Hedielda play the centre half and push O'Neill into midfield just to perhaps try something different. You know what I mean? Mike Dodds has kind of gone along the lines of just replicating these two predecessors, and it hasn't really worked for him, to be fair. And maybe he could have thrown something different at the team tonight. But look, Leeds Sunderland's always going to get the blood going, and it's always a fixture with a bit of fizz to it. I'm hoping that we have taken a little bit out of Saturday's game and move it into tonight's game. I think we're up against it, if I'm being really honest. I think it's going to be a real hard game for us. Leeds have got a lot to play for. The glory of promotions in their sights, whereas we're kind of just, seeing it. I think, to be fair, Mark, well, you'd probably agree, I think if we'd appointed a new manager 7 or 8 games ago, I think all these fixtures would have had a different feel to them, because players would have been playing for their futures or playing to impress the new guy. We might have actually seen the season out a lot smarter than we have, but at the moment it's really difficult to get excited about any of the fixtures now. I just wish it was kind of mid-May and we'd moved on and had some holidays booked.
Shame about Carlisle, yeah, I know, Kev, I know. David Jackson, evening caveats. Let's pray we don't get slaughtered tonight. I say a scrappy 1-0 SAFC win. Thanks, David, for popping in the chat, mate. Thank you. Mike Cassett, good day, Kevy from Melbourne, Australia. Hope you're well, mate. How you doing? Hello, Kevin. How you doing, mate? Kevy, would you have started with Patrick Roberts? I still think Patrick Roberts is just not quite match fit at the moment.
And done something a little different, and I think at least then we would have said, well look, he's not just trotting out a formula, he's actually got some thinking that he can put into it.
What can you do though? I mean, look, he possibly has made change tonight with we'll see when we kick off. We could be a 5 at the back or three centre backs, 2 wing backs with Pembele playing and Styles on the other side. So that's a change. But when you're limited with your players and limited with your numbers and what those even the lads who've got on the bench, he isn't sort of saying like Leeds, they've got loads of options because of the quality of the players and the depth that squad goes to, and we're nowhere near that, and so I think it's difficult for Dodds because he can okay, say Luke O'Neill, I think he should be playing in midfield. Someone else has said that tonight. But who are you going to play? Yeah, sorry, was you at the channel. But who else are you going to play? it's not particularly. It's not like he's not a Danny Dart build, you know. He's not a big robust 6'3", 6'4" centre half. He's another player who's similar to O'Nien in stature.
Yeah, but we could have a look at him though, Marco. I'm just saying, I don't think he's a full-back. I don't think he has the nous for playing a full-back.
Yeah.
But I'd like to have seen the lad play centre. I mean, he's over 6 foot, so he's got a little bit about him. And maybe he's just to chance it around a little bit and have a look, But look, whatever happens, I hope we have a great game tonight and we enjoy it. But I'm not holding much hope for anything other than, I don't know, an honourable defeat. Probably the way to put it.
We shall see, Kevin. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us this evening. And it had been my intention to squeeze another Newcastle message or two in before I let you go, but that was a good conversation with Kevin, so I'm going to leave you be. Early, still 22 and a half minutes early. That's not bad.
Appreciate it.
You're very, very welcome. You'll be back tomorrow, though.
I will be.
Thank goodness for that. John Anderson, thank you very much indeed. Just a reminder then, Gateshead's game against Aldershot at the International Stadium in the National League tonight has been postponed. So too the Northumberland Senior Cup tie between Newcastle under-21s away at Ashington. That postponed because of a waterlogged pitch as well. The one game that does go ahead in our region is on the artificial surface at Morpeth, but it's Dunstan who are taking on Sheffield FC at Crake Park. It is time to hand over the reins then from here to Elland Road, because we're building up to the 8 o'clock kickoff between Leeds United and Sunderland. Marco, you're going to come back at half-time for a minute or two, is that all right?
Yes, I'll speak to you then, Colin.
Marvellous. Talk to you very soon, because it's Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett that are going to take you through to kickoff and beyond.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
So the total eclipse happened, and it was mainly visible in North America. Our reporter Nada was there.
Mother Nature is teasing us. There it is. Wow, that is spectacular.
I do like the start of that when she's talking about the total eclipse. Colette, I don't know if you heard Nada's report there.
The seagulls are going absolutely crazy.
The seagulls are going absolutely crazy. I mean, that's just a standard day in the northeast, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? If a seagull isn't there nicking your chips, it's not a normal day. But the Americans have never seen that before. Imagine how wild they'd go if they came to Shields for a day.
Matt Bailey at breakfast. Back tomorrow when you wake up. BBC Radio Newcastle.
Total Sport Northeast.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
So the build-up to the 8 o'clock kick-off continues now. I'll give you the two teams. Sunderland, Patterson in goal. We think it's a back five, but I'll have a chat with Benno in a moment about what the formation possibly could be. Patterson, Hume, Ballard and O'Nien. Pembele, Neil, Eckwa and Styles. Rigg, Jobe and Clark. The Sunderland bench is Bishop, Pamir, Roberts, Mundell, Barr, Aushish, Shelder, Elise and Dak. Leeds unchanged and the 2 undefeated Coventry. Ilan Meslier in goal. Back four of Archie Gray, the 18-year-old born in Durham, but he's been with Leeds since he was in the under-9s. His father, Andy Gray, the former Leeds striker. Joe Rodon on loan from Spurs. Ethan Ampadu and Junio Firpo, the Dominican Republic international, at left back. Midfield, Ilie Gruev and Glenn Kamara, and then a 3 behind Patrick Bamford up front, Daniel James, Jorginho Ruta and Crescencio Somerville. That's the Leeds United lineup. So Daniel Farker has resisted making any changes in the light of losing at Coventry at the weekend. Their first defeat, in fact, in the league since December the 29th at West Bromwich Albion. Their only other defeat until the weekend this year was at Chelsea in the FA Cup when they lost 3-2. Benno is alongside of me. Hello.
Good evening.
You sensibly sat down in the warmth of the press lounge for the last few hours.
It's got a bit chilly, hasn't it?
Chilly out here.
Yes.
I'm not sure whether I prefer the rain or the chill, but we've got no rain here yet. We were amazed on the way down. I mean, the rain, as you will know at home, has been bouncing off the pavements all day. Then we got to the Vale of York, and on the south side of that, suddenly the weather changed.
It did indeed.
We've even had blue sky down here. Sunshine. There have been some rays of sunshine. We're going to hear from Adi Elise in a moment, but firstly, before we do so, what are your thoughts on that 11? Do you think it's a 5? It looks to me like a 5.
Yeah, I think it might be a 5. I think Trey Hume will go in there and play as a centre-back, and Pembele will play as a wing back, and maybe Callum Styles will play as a wing back. It depends on which way you want to look at it, Nick. Do you think it's maybe, are we inviting pressure onto us?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, is that a defensive lineup, or if the wing backs, is it an attacking lineup? I mean, you could probably argue both cases.
Yeah, I don't think it's an attacking lineup. I think if we go back to the game at the stadium, I like Nick. You know, you look, he's got his game plan spot on. You've got to say he got his game plan spot on that night, but you wouldn't go and say that it was an attacking formation that night. It was more of obviously stopping them from creating as many chances, and you've got to say it worked.
When I look back at Leeds United's home record, I mean, it's obviously strong, 16 wins and 4 draws. They're yet to lose here at Ellen Road this season. They don't actually go out and smash sides, to put smash in inverted commas. Yeah, they've got a few 3-0s, a few 3-1s, but the likes of Stoke came here, lost 1-0, Millwall 2-0. So it looks as though if you set up absolutely right, you can frustrate Leeds.
You can frustrate them, but Nick, I think one thing which stands out, and I think anybody who's seen Leeds play, is that one thing that jumps out at you is they've got pace. They've got pace, they've got energy. And we've seen that right throughout this season. You know, they're not going to be one of them who will play at a, shall we say, a steady pace. They'll come out of the traps. They'll play quickly. They've got pace in the team. And, you know, we talk about Somerville, you know, James, who's there, you know, we've got to make sure that we're on the top. Because one thing's for sure, we're going to be tested. We are going to be tested. The work hard, you know what you're going to get from Leeds. Leeds don't change. You know, you come to Ellen Road and you're not going to be expecting, oh, it's going to be a nice game. You expect that it's from the off, they're going to be in your faces.
Interesting, when we arrived here, we walked into the stadium. You walk in past all the players' cars lined up right out the front of the stand here. You know your Premier League when every car is top of the range. And when you look at this starting 11, you've got international players. There are 3 Welsh international players in here. Joe Rodon, who's got 44 caps. Ethan Ampadu's got 51 caps. Dan James has got 51 caps. Glenn Kamara has got 59 Finnish caps. It's packed with internationals.
Well, again, Nick, just coming in here, you know, as I said, we got, you know, the entrance in, and you see all the cars lined up. It sends out a sign. You know, you can imagine the Sunderland players walking along, looking at that, and we even said, look at all the cars. Majority of them, 99% of them, were all black cars, but top of the range cars, and that's saying this is who we are. You know, we've just come out of the Premier League. We want to get back in.
I bet that was the topic of conversation on the Sunderland team bus, as you say, when the players were coming in on the bus and saw all those cars lined up. I bet they had something to say about that.
They would have raised their eyes. They would have been thinking, wow, look at that. You know, so, you know, you are playing against players who obviously have been relegated from the Premier League. They want to get back there. They're on a good run, as you said, unbeaten at home. So it's going to be a difficult game. But what we've got to do, we've got to frustrate them. Yeah, they're beatable. Coventry went and beat them on Saturday. So yes, but we've got to make sure we do our jobs.
Right, we're going to hear from Mike Dodds before kick-off, but also we're going to hear from Aji Elise, who got half an hour or more on Saturday against Bristol City, and I caught up with him after that draw.
Aji, how does it feel to be back?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing football, and every time I step on the pitch, it's a good feeling, so I'm happy to be back out there.
Does it feel like it's been a long road back?
Yeah, I mean, no matter how small the injury, it's always feels like it's a step back, and it's a journey to get back. And I was out for, I think, just over 2 months, so yeah, it has been a journey, but yeah, I'm glad to be back now.
I've seen pictures on social media of you kicking the ball around in the street with the kids near where you live. You've kept your sort of your spirits up in ways like that. I mean, it's fantastic because what the kids' reaction is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I've done that, so I'm not sure when you saw that video, but all my neighbours are massive Sunderland fans, and I get on well with them. So yeah, I enjoy spending time with them.
Is that sort of something that you do for your own sanity, if you like, in a sense, when you've been out injured?
Yeah, definitely. All my friends and family are back home in London, so I'm up here by myself most of the time. So to have neighbours that spend time and take an interest in me, not just because I play for Sunderland, but as a person, is very nice. And it helps me stay sane, I guess, especially when I don't have the distraction of playing football.
There's been a lot of change as well in the time that you've been out, and Mike Dodd's now sort of in charge until the end of the season. He's just been having a conversation here about having to be tough with players and have conversations which sometimes are difficult. Where are you in the sort of scheme of things in terms of finding a way back into the first team?
Well, I got 90 minutes for the 21s on Wednesday, which Dodsey said he wanted me to get to, because he just said he didn't want to rush me, basically. So, and then I've got, I think it was half an hour today, so just whatever he thinks is best, I'll go along with, basically. As long as my body feels good, I'll go along with it.
Because I know you'll be eager to get back, but I guess you're mindful of what happened at the end of last season, and that must play on your mind.
Yeah, of course. I mean, whenever you get injured, when you come back from it, it does kind of play on your mind for a little bit. And yeah, obviously last season I got injured right at the end of the season, which I wouldn't want to happen again. But yeah, I've been taking it slow, and I'll listen to my body and just keep going.
Not afraid to throw yourself in today in the half hour that you got. So clearly your confidence is such that you feel good.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've had a few injuries, but I do feel confident in my body. Yeah, sometimes that confidence can lead to another injury or another setback, but whenever I'm out there, I always give 100% and whatever the team needs from me.
And is it very much a case now, these last 5 games, you want to do your utmost to push yourself into the thoughts of Mike as to start games, just to make the most of what has been a disappointing season for you?
I mean, whatever the team needs, if it's to come off the bench like today, or if it's to start, as long as I feel good, I'll do as much as I can for the team.
Total Sport North East.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Good to see Aji Elise back, and good to see at the weekend he did throw himself into the game with a bit of gusto.
He did indeed.
I actually did think he might get involved from the start tonight, but I think Callum Styles has played previously as a left wing back for Barnsley. I think it's one of the roles he's talked about playing, even though he favours playing more as a central midfielder or as a number 10.
Yeah, apparently he's played a few roles, doesn't he? He can play the 10 role, he can play as a left back, he can play as a left wing back. But again, seeing Elise on Saturday, you thought maybe it might be a little bit too early that he might have started tonight.
We were watching the warm-up earlier and the groups of Sunderland players and how they configure themselves on the pitch when they're presumably allowed to sort of warm up for their own pattern, because they do some routines, so then they sort of tend to warm up. I watched all the French players were on their own, weren't they, in a circle together.
And it'll be interesting, what do you read into that? I know that obviously they speak the same language, yes, but you would still think they would integrate with all the rest of the players. It just seems as though that was the French group there, 5 or 6 of them, and then the rest of the group, and you're just thinking it would have been better if 1 or 2 more, shall we say, got more engaged with each other.
Yeah, I think, that one of the interesting issues, or well, maybe not an issue, one of the interesting conversations that we could have about this Sunderland young team is trying to integrate foreign players into that group. And I think, Rusin's probably the prime example, and Jefferson Bennett is the other one, who have both struggled to integrate themselves because of the language barrier.
Yeah, and that's where, you talk about experience or having somebody in that changing room who can be the link, who can do that for you. Because again, it's a big call, isn't it? You've got a young lad from another country coming into obviously a changing room or a group of players, and he wants to find his feet, doesn't he? He wants to know, what to do, learn the language, learn the culture. And you're not going to learn it amongst your own, shall we say, other people who's from France or wherever.
So we're, just about 10 minutes away from kickoff, 9 minutes away from kickoff here at Ellen Road. Let's hear the pre-match thoughts of Sunderland's interim head coach, Mike Dodds.
To Leeds then, I think, I'm not sure what ran through your mind when you looked at the results on Saturday afternoon and seen that Leeds had lost to Coventry. Probably not the result you anticipated, or probably not the result that you really wanted.
Yeah, I mean, the Championship is a brutal and relentless league, and there's so many results every week. You could check the results on a Saturday every week, and there would always be one or two results that everyone kind of would be a little bit of an eyebrow raiser. So that being said, I think Coventry are a really, really good team, so the result doesn't surprise me completely. I do think Leeds are one of the best, if not the best team in the league, and I said that when we played them previously, earlier in the season. And look, you can read into they lost the last game, they won the last game. The reality is they're a really, really good team. So regardless of previous results, whether they'd won 5 on the bounce or lost 5 on the bounce, the reality is the players they put on the pitch are Premier League quality. So regardless of the previous game, we know we're going to have to, all of us, whoever starts the game, has to be right at it. They're going to have to perform 100% to give us an opportunity to have a successful result.
Managers often say it's difficult to come to the stadium.
Yeah, good evening, how are you doing? Sorry, I'm just got in late from work today, so I'm just having some tea. I'm absolutely starving.
16 wins and 4 draws. I mean, that is very, very strong performance.
Yeah, and no, I'm sure the atmosphere helps that, but I think that's my previous one. They've got Premier League quality, so they're the type of figures, and I mean this respectfully, they're the type of figures you respect. You look at their squad, you look at their bench, and you look at the players they have available, they're the type of figures that you would expect. And yeah, I mean that respectfully to Leeds United, but look, it's going to be a tough game. Like I say, probably every press conference is bored of me saying this. There's no easy games in this league. We're going to have to go there and be 100% in terms of every single player on the pitch is going to have to perform to the best of their ability. If we do that, we've got some quality in the team as well if we want them. So they'll be aware of that. So we're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm back, I was just getting me tea, so I'm in the background. Oh.
These are the type of games that I relish. Going out stepping out of 30+ thousand at Ellen Road, there's not many people that can say that. And my mindset is just going to try and win the game regardless of their record.
Is it fair to say for you it's a free hit? I mean, you haven't got the pressure on your shoulders as a club that Leeds had at the moment in this, what is now obviously a 3-horse race for the top 2 places.
No, not really. I can understand why that would be probably the narrative, but from my perspective as a young coach, I have everything to lose in terms of my reputation. We have young players that obviously want to propel this football club to where we feel it needs to be. So from my perspective, it's not a free hit, it's an opportunity to see where we're at. Individually and collectively, so I don't see it as a free hit whatsoever. And like I said, these are the type of games that we should all be looking at. So these are the games we want to play in every single week. This is the level we want to get to, and this is the level we want to perform at every single week. So I don't see it as a free hit.
And look back at that game against Leeds at the stadium.
If Sunderland turn up, I'm going for 0-0. I'm going to go for 1-1. Sorry, if they turn up. If they didn't turn up, I'm going to go 4-0 Leeds. So I'm gonna.
Maybe. Listen, I think
it is, but I'm gonna go with the most likeliest. No, I'm not gonna be that harsh. I'm gonna go with the most likeliest. 3-0 Leeds, unfortunately.
We had the second youngest team in FPL history, and Leicester never shot a goal in the second half. So I'm proud of pockets of whether it's my first time in Champions.
There's an X Spectrum again.
I'm proud of a lot of pockets of things that have happened. Obviously, there's things there where they kind of
okay. Oh, you paused it.
And make sure next time, whether it be here or someone else, that I improve upon certain things. And I think I show that from my first spell to my second spell that I am a very reflective person in degree, yeah, to a degree. You know, I've watched that game back in the last couple of weeks, obviously knowing.
Good evening, Ken. How are you doing? Evening, Cabby from windswept Cornwall. I was fortunate enough to be at Wembley in '73 as a 22-year-old fan. I was a Wembley fan. God, Ken, I bet you that was amazing, mate. You lucky so-and-so. Eddie Anderson, you seen the new kit teasers being put up? I believe it's Hummel.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
So Mike Dodds categorically saying it's not a free hit. I guess the free hit depends on who scores first tonight.
Well,
I just still think it's a difficult game for us, Nick.
I have just muted the football at the moment, the comedy, just because of the music, the music in the background, and I've got to trim all the copyright stuff out, so don't bother. The commentary will be up very, very soon. Just need to get all the music carry-on out the road. Callum Hall, good evening, mate. Billy Fly, I'd be more happy with the same result that we had last time we played Leeds, absolutely. David Jackson, they always let us down, but we never let them down. Still seeing 1-0. Well, I'll take it. As they've got their We Are Leeds song blasting out round the tannoys at the minute. How are you doing, Derek? You alright? Oh, you paused it. Hmm? Come here. That one? Yeah, darling. Marching on together, blah, 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 blah. Derek UK, evening all. Won't be making any comments tonight as I'm busy, but we're listening and enjoy the game. You're welcome, mate.
In that song leading up to...
So let's turn the commentary up now, and it's time for me to shut up. I will be replying to you in the chat.
On the touchline, Joe getting some instruction from Mike Dodds, others out in the middle of the pitch. Mascots all having their picture taken in the centre circle. As I say, Leeds all in white, Sunderland in their lilac and lavender, with Patterson away to our right, below the stand roof that says the Norman Hunter stand. He's all in orange tonight. It's the Jack Charlton stand opposite us. To our left is the Don Revie stand, and we're sitting in the John Charles main stand, the west stand here. Though it's the Jack Charlton stand, of course, is the huge monolith on the far side of what would otherwise be quite a small stadium. So Maidenhead 1, Hartlepool 0, incidentally, in the 7:45 kickoffs tonight. A reminder, Gateshead's game called off very, very late, but the rain today made that game virtually impossible to go ahead. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Norwich 1. The team's changing ends here, so Anthony Patterson will be at the Don Revie stand end of the ground, away to our left. All the Sunderland fans down away to our right in the corner in this main stand. It's now Norwich 2-0 up at Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, it's always a tremendous atmosphere here, Nick, and one thing for sure, you've got to make sure you're up for a fight today, because, you know, they'll come out on the front foot, start on the front foot, and they'll put one or two challenges in to get this crowd right behind them.
They know they can't make any. They can't make another mistake, can they? No. If they want to go up automatically, Leeds.
That's right.
In the 5 games they got left, the last of them is at home against Southampton. At the weekend, they're home here against Blackburn. So they know that another slip could cost them big time. As Leeds get the game underway here, Patrick Bamford just slipping the ball right back to Ethan Ampadu and back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and they've gone 5 at the back.
Yeah, looking across now, we can see Styles left wing back, Pembele right wing back, 3 centre backs, Hume, Ballard and O'Nien. Meslier, the French Leeds goalkeeper, comes outside of his area and just passes the ball across to Rodon, who's on loan from Tottenham. Rodon here again, now on the ball, laying it off to the left to Ampadu, the former Exeter and Chelsea defender. Now he used to be a midfielder, but they've converted him to a centre back, and since they moved him back, 9 clean sheets at the turn of the year. Rigg now getting on the ball, trying to spin inside and laying it off to Ekwa just inside the Leeds half, back to Luke O'Nien, across then to Styles, back to O'Nien, and he drives the ball down the right wing, looking for Pembele. Ampadu heads it away, Pembele heads it in again over Ampadu, but safely back to the goalkeeper. Tim Robinson, last in charge of a Sunderland game last March 2023, and that was at Norwich. Sunderland won 1-0. He was in charge New Year's Day, the 1-1 draw at Blackpool, and before that Sunderland's 3-0 defeat of Millwall in December 2022. So the omens in that respect are probably quite good, but it's 0-0 now. We're in the 3rd minute of the game here at Ellen Road, and the ball coming out through Rodon again. Joe Rodon trying to find Bamford, and there's a strong challenge in the centre circle, and the referee awards Leeds a free kick. Tim Robinson only yards away from where the foul was committed. He momentarily thought about the advantage. Here now with Ampadu on the halfway line on the left, slips the ball back to Rodon in the centre circle, out to Ampadu again on his left hand side, back into Rodon in the middle, and he's driving on through the centre into the Sunderland half on the left hand side here now. Somerville trying to find Firpo, foul by Pembele, and it's a free kick to Leeds, wide on the left, halfway inside the Sunderland half. Quickly taken, slipped to Gruev, eventually back out to Somerville on the left. Rigg went to make a tackle, but Leeds still have possession here. Somerville again in the short sleeves and his black gloves.
Yeah, he's the one you've got to keep an eye on, because he can make things happen. Somerville.
Yeah,
he just wants to pick. He wants to get into 1v1 situations.
He tried to slip the ball through to Firpo, challenged by Hume. Throw to Leeds down this left-hand side, 15 yards or so from the corner on the left, and the Dominican Republic international Firpo, who was at Barcelona until 2021 when he signed for Leeds, and has come right back through Rodon to Meslier, the Leeds keeper. Ampadu again, back to Meslier, and taps it to Rodon. And interesting that they play 4 at the back, Leeds, but the 2 full-backs are pushed very, very far forwards. And Gray, one of them, sweeps the ball up into the Sunderland penalty area, and Patterson catches it. Southampton 1, Coventry 0. Southampton 4th currently, but way off really the top 3. Leeds currently 3rd, and there's a push on Styles, so it's a free kick for Sunderland. Styles takes it, floats it up towards Jobe, over Rodon and Jobe's heads, back to Meslier, who's in lime green, the French goalkeeper. Actually quite nice to see a game kicking off 8 o'clock and it's still light.
Yeah.
Even though the floodlights are on here. We're in the 5th minute now, 0-0, live on BBC Radio Newcastle.
Pitch is in tremendous condition.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it does. For this time of this, yeah.
And bearing in mind what Marco was saying earlier about the amount of rain in Yorkshire over the last month, it's stood up to the rigours of that very, very well indeed, as Ampadu lays it back off to Rodon, the back of the centre circle. There's Kamara, the Finnish international, signed from Rangers in the summer, out to Firpo, back to Ampadu, and he swings a ball up through the middle. He was looking to try and get it through to Bamford, and then a foul on Ballard by Ruta, and it's a free kick to Sunderland. Interesting that Somerville wears Crescencio, his Christian name, on his back of his shirt, the Dutchman, rather than Somerville. And or is it, sorry, not for a moment I thought, yeah, no, it is, it's surname. Here's the free kick from Ballard, swept up through onto the chest of Ampadu, and Ampadu back to the goalkeeper again in his lime and big yellow gloves, out to Rodon, who brings it again out through the middle here, lays it off to Ampadu again. Ampadu out to Firpo on this left-hand side, and Firpo blocked by Pembele off the Sunderland wing-back for a throw to Leeds. This inside their own half. I have to say, this opening 6 minutes nearly, Sunderland have contained it.
Yeah, they have. You know, they've kept the shape, and that's the important thing. They've got to be disciplined, Nick. That's what they've got to do.
They're not allowing Leeds a whiff of the quick break at the moment. There's Rodon again, laying it off to Ampadu on this left-hand side. Forwards again to Somerville, back to Ampadu, inside to Rodon, and then it's played up over the top, looking for Bamford, headed away off him by Ballard. Somerville flicks it back to Gruev, and back again to Rodon, and Ampadu again on halfway, towards to Junior Firpo. He does indeed wear Junior on his shirt. And in the centre circle, Kamara, Rodon out wide to Ampadu. Firpo finding Somerville. Oh, he skips round Ekwa, and Firpo and Somerville now with Firpo on the overlap. Firpo down the left of the penalty area, tries the cross, it's blocked by Hume. It's a corner to Leeds.
Yeah.
As like you said about Somerville, the drop of the shoulder and he's away.
He's away, yeah. You know, majority of the play will come through him. Somerville is very, very sharp.
And Somerville's going to take the corner on the left here, below the Don Revie stand. We've got Kamara out at the corner of the penalty area, but it's going to be swung in towards the far post. It's headed away by Job. It's going to drop only as far as Archie Gray, who smashes his foot at it, and it's run away. In fact, it was James. It was Dan James' shot, and comes back out now. Ruta, and out wide to Archie Gray. He's dribbling into the corner of the penalty area, slips it to Ruta, and then out wide again on the right-hand side, slip back into the penalty area, and Joe gets a foot on it, and it's going to run behind for another corner. This time from the right-hand side. Ilya Gruev, Bulgarian international, goes down to take this second corner for Leeds. And punched away by Patterson, and out to Somerville, and then Kamara down the right to the corner of the penalty area. It's swung in, headed out of the box by Job, and it'll bounce out for a throw to Leeds on the right-hand side. There's a very famous chef there, I can't remember his name. He's that famous, with the long blonde hair and the beard.
Oh, right.
He's from Redcar, I think, but he's got restaurants in Leeds now, as Luke O'Nien hammers the ball away up into the Leeds United half. Meslier comes out of his penalty area, passes it to Ampadu. Ampadu taps it back now to Meslier, and Meslier in between the two centre halves in the D, brings this out and then just taps it again to Rodon. Joe Rodon, who began his career at Swansea and who is a Welsh international,
Yes,
out to Somerville. Now Firpo, but he's overhit it a little bit. Michael O'Hare, thank you, Colin White, back in the Total Sports studio tonight. Michael O'Hare, that's who it is. He's got lots of hair as well, as it happens. And he's sitting just down in front of us. I'm pointing him out to Marco now. He's just down in the corner of the seats down there. Celebrity spotting here. I've got Marco on one side of me, Ben on the other.
No, okay.
So,
that's a foul.
And free kick to Sunderland. 0-0. We're in the 10th minute of the game. He's from Middlesbrough, I'm told now.
Do you know what, Nick?
Yes.
You know, like we've said, Jack Clark has not had a touch of the ball.
No, he hasn't. It's interesting. I mean, but that probably furthers the point. Sunderland are looking to contain here. They're not looking to be overly adventurous. But you're absolutely right. Clark now looking for it. He chases into the penalty area. He's not going to get it. And it's back with Meslier. So you can hear the Sunderland fans singing everywhere we go, down to our right. And out to the left, Ampadu trying to swing it through to Bamford. Ballard just got in front of him, and Sunderland get the ball away again. Right back up to Meslier at the edge of the Leeds penalty area. And Rodon again.
He must know somebody, this lad here.
There's a guy in front of us just waving and waving and waving
He must know somebody.
to everybody in the Norman Hunter stand.
I don't think he's interested in the football, is he?
No, he's interested in, he either knows everybody in the Norman Hunter stand, or he's vainly trying to find one individual in there, which he's not going to do.
He's had a touch.
Jack Clark has managed to slip the ball inside here now to Ekwa, and out wide to Pembele. All I've got is waving arms in front of me here.
Watch the game, man.
Hume pushes the ball through to Job, who's just knocked off the ball by Rodon up to the halfway line. Bamford suddenly tried to turn Ballard, who caught him. And it's a free kick to Leeds United on the halfway line, just left of the centre circle.
He'll be shattered him at half time. The amount of waving he's doing.
It's extraordinary. I thought he'd just given up, but he's gone back to it. Rodon takes the free kick. Back to Ampadu. And forwards again here to Kamara. And through to Patterson. Taps it to Luke O'Nien. Out wide now to Styles, trying to find Clark, who of course began his career here at Leeds from York, Jack Clark. And Marco's getting agitated here. What do you want?
3 passes is the most we've put together so far.
There we go, there's a stat for you. 3 passes is the most. But that comes back to the point we're talking about. Sunderland looking to do a job here and contain Leeds, rather than look to be any more ambitious than that at the moment. Here's Somerville in the centre circle, and plays it back to Rodon, and then across to Ampadu on the left-hand side again. I mean, Leeds are neat and tidy, but they're not going anywhere at the moment with the ball. There's Job in the centre circle, flicks it out to Styles, who's battling with Dan James on that far side, and wins that battle. Finds Ekwa in the centre circle. Here to Rigg on the right wing. Pembele's out wide. Rigg's taking this onto the edge of the area. Finds Pembele, drives it into the far post. Clark throws himself at it, but couldn't make a sweet connection. Archie Gray on his shoulder, and it's been headed behind for a goal kick.
Yeah.
Great ball in.
Good ball in. Maybe too much pace on it.
Possibly.
He did fire that across, didn't he?
But he did smash it across the penalty area, and Clark threw himself at it. And now on the counter-attack, it's Archie Gray. Skip round Styles, he's got the ball inside straight to Ekwa. Now Job. Gray tried to stab it away, it's been cleared. It comes to Gruev, who's happy to play it all the way back to Meslier from the halfway line. Pushed out to Ampadu, then into the centre. Gruev across to Firpo. And Firpo laying it back off inside to Ampadu. Ekwa wins it in the middle, looking for Job. Kamara's on his shoulder, managed to shuffle it through to Bamford, who's trying to find Somerville, but the ball just had a little bit too much pace, and Patterson's managed to grab it. 0-0. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle, we're into the 15th minute. Patterson drops the ball to his feet. Bamford went to close him down. Kick up to the halfway line. Firpo heads it on. Somerville takes it on his chest. Just managed to tap it back straight to Rigg. Rigg now trying to find a ball through for Clark. Headed back over the top by Rodon. Clark trying to get round Gray. Gray just managed to turn the ball away to the touchline and then slips it inside to the penalty area to Rodon and back to the goalkeeper. Archie Gray, 18 years old, son of the former Leeds striker Andy Gray. His brother Harry is in the academy here as well at Leeds, and apparently is fairly outstanding. Throw for Sunderland. Pembele to Hume. Hume swings it into the penalty area. Job takes it in his midriff, but with his back to goal, and out comes Ampadu.
He's offside.
And surely Bamford was offside. The flag has stayed down. It's come off for a throw anyway.
You want to put your flag up?
I think possibly giving the assistant the benefit of the doubt. When the ball was passed, Bamford was just in his half. But here's O'Nien pushing it out to Ekwa, back to O'Nien at the edge of the area, plays it back across the face of Bamford to Patterson. Patterson to Ballard. Ballard now on this right hand side, dribbling out with the ball and then passing it through, looking for Pembele, but Firpo gets ahead of him. Kamara back to Gruev. Gruev back to Rodon, just behind the centre circle. Plays it to Ampadu. Now to Firpo, Junior Firpo. Comes off Pembele. It's a throw to Leeds. Firpo takes it. Ampadu back to the goalkeeper. Ilian Meslier rolls it out to Joe Rodon. He dribbles up to the back of the centre circle, leaves it for Ampadu, back to Rodon. Rodon again, happy enough. They're happy enough to play it between them, Ampadu and Rodon, and then Firpo back to Ampadu again, and Ethan Ampadu back to goalkeeper Meslier. Meslier taps it to Rodon, and then out wide, Gray just short of the halfway line, back again to Rodon. Daniel Farke stands with his arms folded in his big black overcoat at the edge of his technical area as away goes Ruta. Ruta edge of the area, blocked by Ekwa, and out comes Rigg with the ball now for Sunderland, looking for Joe, but cut out comfortably by Ampadu. Back to Gruev. Gruev into the Sunderland half, lays it off to his left to Kamara, out wide then to Firpo halfway inside the Sunderland half on the left wing, back to Kamara, and inside Gruev through to Ruta, trying to get onto his right foot, and it's not very far wide of the angle from good 30 yards.
Yeah, good effort.
We've got a stanchion here that obscures a third of the goal from where I'm sat, but that just whistled just over from Jorginho Ruta. So Patterson with the goal kick drives this up through the middle, looking for Job. Gruev had his arms all around him, but the ball drops back to Rodon. 0-0 in the 19th minute. Rodon just short of the halfway line, passing it on to Dan James, out to Gray on the touchline, back after Styles went to close him down to Rodon. In the middle, Gruev, Job giving chase. It's played out to Ampadu, taps it on to Firpo, back to Ampadu. Rigg nearly got a foot on it, but Ampadu lays it off back to the goalkeeper, and then across to Rodon again, and then wide to Gray inside the Sunderland half. Still carrying this on, Dan Neil getting a foot to it, and I think that's probably Dan Neil's first touch of the evening.
Excellent.
And that's to Clark then, and that touch from Dan came in the 19th minute. But away goes Bamford again on the right hand side of the Sunderland penalty area. Styles can't keep it in, it's another corner to
Bad
Leeds.
touch by Jack Clark, ran away from him, he's ended up with a corner kick.
Gruev going down to take the corner, the third Leeds corner from the right. They've left Gray up in the centre circle. Somerville and James just outside the box. Somerville at the edge of the D.
You know, Styles is picking up Bamford. That's not a match, really.
Well, there's a lot of pushing. Bamford's pushing Styles around. They're wrestling each other at the minute on the
He'll beat him in the air
6-yard line. Bamford's trying to lose Styles. Gruev plays the ball back to James at the back of the box. Back out to Gruev. Gruev crosses. Patterson punches it out. Clark tries to get a touch to it, but it's going to run back through for James. Now Gray on the centre spot. Leaves it for Somerville. Somerville back to Ampadu. Gray here in the centre circle. Leaves it for Rodon and jogs back over to the right-hand side. Somerville on the halfway line on the left. Closed down by Rigg. Played it back to Ampadu. And now to Rodon into the centre circle and into the Sunderland half. Somerville on this left-hand side. Wide to Firpo. Inside again to Kamara. Back to Ampadu. Chased by Ekwa. Plays it back to Meslier, who's in the middle of the Leeds half. And we are in the 21st minute, almost a quarter of the way through the game. 0-0. And Sunderland have been very disciplined.
We've got to be careful,
he says. As Ballard
he's going to get booked.
Bamford and gets booked.
Yeah. So, he's got to be careful.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to be playing the rest of the game on a yellow, does he? So Marco's protesting it wasn't a foul. Well, that's as may be, it's been given. Free kick. And Ballard's been shown a yellow card. Just in front of the centre circle, Ampadu short to Rodon, then to Gray. Out there on the far side, bringing it back inside James. Twists away from Styles, leaves it for Gray on the right wing, inside again to Ruter. And Ruter's trying to get away here from Dan Neal. Tried to swing the ball in here to Somerville, who's got it eventually.
Offside.
And the flag is up, offside. Free kick to Sunderland. Dack, Elise and Roberts, or it's Mundle and Roberts warming up down below us. Dack in his great big long black overcoat.
Good touch.
Red, orange, blue bibs now. Styles takes this forwards, lays it off to Clark on the left-hand side, slips it inside to Dan Neal. Neal in the Leeds half, twists away from Ruter and plays it on again, looking for Clark. He's done a lovely dummy round past Gray into the penalty area, and it takes a deflection into the arms of the goalkeeper. I'm not sure what was a cross or a shot that from Clark. But the keeper gets it out quickly, and it's swept up to James by Gray. It bounces in front of the Welsh international, out for a throw to Sunderland. As James, I think, was looking for a free kick, picks himself up off the floor. O'Nien goes to get the ball, flicks it up into his hands. There's a fair wind blowing. I'm looking at these corner flags, blowing almost horizontal in that, away to our right. Yeah, they are literally blowing in 4 different directions. There's clearly a wind, which, as we felt when we arrived here, has picked up through the evening. We are a quarter of the way through the game. We're in the 24th minute, and there's a ball played through the middle and away behind for a goal kick to Leeds. Southampton lead Coventry 2-0. 0-0 here at Elland Road.
You've got to say that Sunderland, you know, excellent start. We've got to just keep it going. They're frustrating them.
Well, Mike Dodds has done another tactical job, hasn't he, in terms of setting the team up to contain Leeds. The applause is for the Leeds substitutes warming up down below us. Meslier out to Rodon, on through to Somerville, who's trying to get round Hume and Neal. Neal got enough on the ball. Hume tries to win it back. Now O'Nien has to clear. Up to Jobe in the middle. Gruev is straight on to Jobe, and a free kick for the foul by Gruev. This. So this just left of the centre circle in the Sunderland half. Quickly out to Neil. Neil now wide to Clark. Clark is going to dribble on into the centre, but he's tackled, and then the ball played on by Ruta to the right. James, who's played it behind Ruta to Dan Ballard. Ballard comes out with this, runs into James. It's pushed forwards again through to Ruta. Ruta now looking for Somerville. Only Hume to come past. O'Nien comes across and a good block. Gets the ball clear, and Job now up to the halfway line. He needs some support.
Get up with him.
Looks for an offside. Jack Clark.
And that's where we're talking about, Nick. You know, when we've won the ball there, we haven't got enough people to get up quickly enough to support them.
I think this is where they're caught. This is where they're caught between two stools, isn't it? To do the job of containment, and then when they do get the opportunity to break and be ambitious, they're caught in this initial. We're here to try and stop Leeds. Ball comes to Ampadu and Rodon again now in the middle. Rodon just behind the centre circle. Taps it again out to Ampadu on this left-hand side. Floats one over the top, looking for Somerville. Flag stays down. Firpo behind him. Back again to Ampadu. This inside the Sunderland half. Now Kamara. Kamara plays it back to Ampadu. Cheltenham 0, Carlisle 1. Carlisle, of course, now relegated. Centre circle, Rodon to his left to Ampadu. Firpo just ahead of him in the Sunderland half. Bamford just flicks it on to Somerville. A little ball over the top, but Ballard gets his foot to it. Hume nods it back down to Luke O'Nien in the penalty area. Firpo went to close him down. O'Nien gets the ball out to Jack Clark. The ball bounces off his feet as he had Gray stood right behind him. And now Gruev to Kamara, back to Rodon on the halfway line in the centre circle to his left to Ampadu, and Ampadu back inside to Gruev, back to Ampadu, again to Rodon. Rodon through the middle, looking for Bamford. Patrick Bamford lays it off to Firpo. Firpo out to Somerville on this left touchline. Pembele just in front of him, tries to slip it inside then, trying to get the ball to Firpo, eventually back to Ampadu. And forwards to Kamara. Preston 0, Huddersfield 1. Again in the centre circle, Rodon bringing this out to the left to Ampadu. Rigg goes to close him down, plays it on to Somerville, then to Firpo. Little flick down the line. Pembele's got to get in front of Somerville and puts it behind for another Leeds corner. 0-0, 28th minute. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle.
Concentration, Nick.
Again, yeah. Somerville again, because it's from the left-hand side. And Kamara comes again across to this corner of the penalty area out in midfield. Somerville looks like he's going to swing this in, though. He does towards the far post. Headed in the air by Job, and then hooked away by Rigg. There's nobody there but Archie Gray, just to the right of the centre circle. Plays it inside to Kamara. Out to Firpo on the left-hand side here, back to Kamara. Kamara to Rodon on the halfway line in the middle. Finds Bamford ahead on the left of midfield. Out to Somerville. Firpo, Somerville again. Pembele's trying to get the ball off Somerville, but he's got to the edge of the penalty area. No foul as he goes down. The challenge from Hume. Comes back out to Kamara, inside to Ampadu, and then back into the centre circle again to Rodon. Rodon to Ampadu. Forwards, Kamara, Rodon in the centre circle. Tries to flick it back to Ampadu and down the line to Firpo. Kamara slipped, but he still comes away with the ball. Gets up off his backside, plays it inside to Ruta. Ruta's tackled by Dan Neal. Dan Neal trying to swing it away down the left foot Clark, but it swept past him. Back through Rodon to Meslier in the middle of the Leeds half. Now Gruev to Ampadu. Firpo up to the halfway line. Bamford, Ballard's right on his back again. Bamford managed to get the ball forwards. Gruev will chase. Hume will direct it back to the goalkeeper, and Patterson puts his right foot through this, right back up into the Leeds half. Rodon heads it on. Bamford goes up with Ekwa. Comes down though for Rigg. And Rigg now away. Pemberley's wide. Rigg just twists, does a pirouette on the ball, and then does it again inside. Then looking for Job. It's played out though by Ampadu to Kamara. Back to Gruev. Back to Ampadu. And now Firpo. Back to Ampadu. He plays it right through the middle. Up here to Ruta. Ruta, the tackle by Neil. Hume has to be aware of Ruta on his shoulder. Manages to steer it back to Patterson in his bright orange. He plays it to O'Nien just to his left. Forwards down the left wing to Styles. Styles looking for Clark. He's got Gruev all over him, but Clark manages to, well, he plays the ball off the back of Kamara, and it comes back to Ampadu, and he gets it up to Somerville. Now Kamara again, just left of the centre circle, looking for the run of Somerville. Hume's gone with him, and down the left edge of the Sunderland penalty area. Somerville plays it back to Firpo. Firpo back again to Ampadu. Ampadu taps it to Firpo, on to Kamara, and Somerville gets away from Hume into the penalty area. On his right, takes a deflection off Ballard, and behind for a corner.
You can't go diving in there. If you go diving in there, you've got to make sure you win the ball. Hume's gone diving in there. Somerville's been able to cut inside, get his shot away. His deflection's gone out for a corner kick.
A fifth Leeds United corner. Gruev again from the right. Swings it in, hangs for a moment. Patterson gets his fist to it. Comes out to Somerville. The referee ducks away from underneath the ball. Somerville shuffles it back to Gray on the halfway line. Gray down the left, Kamara. Kamara calling Ruta to him, and then suddenly just befuddles Rigg, slips the ball inside to Somerville, but Neil's managed to tackle him. But the ball rolls to Firpo. He gets it back from Ampadu now, and then it's cut out by Pembele for a throw to Leeds, just down from Mike Dodds. We're in the 32nd minute. Rodon on halfway through the middle. It's blocked by Ekwa. Comes back to Gruev. Gruev with Clark on his shoulder. Plays it Ampadu. Ampadu back to Meslier, who passes it out swiftly to Gray on the right wing. Back inside to Rodon. Rodon forwards through the middle to Ruta, looking for the run of Bamford. Offside. The flag is up. He missed anyway.
Good line.
Another free kick to Sunderland. I think Mike Dodds will be pleased with the way the first half hour has panned out.
Fantastic, he's got it spot on at the present moment. Mike Dodds, masterclass.
Ballard's going to take the free kick back to Patterson, taps it out again to O'Nien, and back inside to Dan Ballard. Ballard back out to O'Nien on the left-hand side.
Yeah, these are getting a little bit frustrated, aren't they?
They are.
Leeds.
Yeah. As it's played through to Neil. Good ball down the left-hand side. Neil, in comes Styles, and Neil looks inside for Rigg. Rigg now, will it open up from his shoots, but it's over the top.
On his right foot.
Worth the effort. Sunderland worked that well, and Rigg managed to get himself some space. Maybe a little bit too much. He just lasted it a little bit too much. Head up. But nonetheless, with Clark throwing himself at it earlier on, and that, at least they've had a couple of efforts. Meslier brings the ball out again and leaves it for Rodon. Rodon. Job on his shoulder. Down the left to James, tackled by Neil.
Well done.
Clark away with it again now. Trying to get to the corner of the penalty area. Out to Job. Back from Job to Styles. Styles down the line again to Clark. Clark just flicks it through, looking for the run of Job down to the goal line. It's being forced away by Gruev. Plays it back out to Clark on the touchline. Behind him is Neil. And Neil now slips it inside. Styles back to O'Nien. Bamford on his shoulder. O'Nien out to Styles wide, and he finds Clark. It's good play from Sunderland. Clark in the penalty area, still going Clark, and it's a block by the feet of the goalkeeper, and a corner to Sunderland.
Great play. Excellent. We started to get Jack Clark into the game.
Yeah. So Sunderland's first corner. It'll be taken from the left-hand side by Styles, and with his left he swings it to the back of the 6-yard box where it's headed out by Rodon, then hooked away down the left-hand side by Gray, but Dan Neil gets in front of him and plays it back to Hume in the Sunderland half. Hume out to Ekwa. Neil down the right wing to Pembele. Pembele back to Neil, wide on the right, halfway inside the Leeds half, back to the halfway line. Hume inside to Ballard at the back of the centre circle. To his left is O'Nien. O'Nien now looking for Clark. And Clark in the centre circle. Pushes it back out to the right to Hume. Down the right rig. They have to work to get this back now to Hume. And Hume back to the goalkeeper Patterson. Bamford tries to get around Ballard. Pushes him off. Ballard trips Bamford. And the referee's just going to ignore it. A bit of nonsense, a bit of nothing. And away goes Rutter down the right, blocked by Neil, and then Styles is caught by Rutter at the edge of the area. And
the two of them are going to get.
The referee's going to have a talking to now. He's brought.
Both of them have been at it.
Yeah, and the problem is Ballard's on a yellow card. This is what Ballard's going to be cautious about. But you're absolutely right. From the start, the two of them. Tim Robinson speaking both to Dan Ballard and Patrick Bamford, and I think quite clearly telling them to cut it out. Don't want to see any more. And strides away Tim Robinson. Luke O'Nien will leave the free kick for Patterson to take. We're in the 37th minute, Leeds United 0, Sunderland 0. Everybody jogging back up into the Leeds half over on the left-hand side. The kick from Patterson follows suit, and Ekwa heads it on, headed away by Ampadu, looking for James on the right wing. Just managed to keep it in under pressure from Styles. Styles, though, gets the ball inside now to Neil. Neil caught by Gruev, gets the ball, loses it. Job gets away from the Bulgarian, finds Clark. Job takes it on down the left touchline, trying to come past Rodon in the corner, and Rodon sticking with him. It's played right back to Styles on the left wing, and Styles back again to O'Nien. O'Nien inside to Ekwa. Ekwa back to O'Nien, and O'Nien on the halfway line, plays it through in the middle. Rig now looking to get it wide to Pembele. Firpo in front of him. Pembele's cutting inside, still going, looking for Job at the edge of the area. Rodon gets a foot to it. Job wins it back, finds Jack Clark, tries to put a low ball in straight at Meslier. Straight at the keeper.
You can see that Sunderland are starting to grow with confidence.
A bit of confidence
now,
going, yeah, it is. Best chances, you could argue, have fallen to Sunderland. Meslier plays it out wide on the right now. Gray bringing it into the Sunderland half, looking for the run of Dan James. He sprints down the right, almost to the goal line, swings it back here. Hume brings it down and calmly plays it away with his left foot to the left wing. Jack Clark taps it inside to Neil. Neil now with Job in the middle, and to his right is Rig. He's played to Job, tapped back here to Neil, who finds Pembele here on the right-hand side, into the Leeds half. Pembele, Kamara comes back to cover him. Pembele's still going. Pembele down the right of the penalty area. He's come out and leaves it for Rig. Rig now with his left, swings it towards the far post, straight to the hands of the goalkeeper. But you can see how incensed or how wound up the Leeds fans are now. They can sense that Sunderland are getting more and more into the game here now. 39th minute, and at the moment there's an argument Sunderland wouldn't want the first half to end. They're starting to become the team in the dominance. Meslier leaves it for Rodon. Rodon closed down by Job, and Ekwa gets it through to Bamford. Bamford taps it to Somerville. Somerville now looks to get it through to Bamford again down the left of the penalty area. Hume goes with him. Bamford turns back, finds Firpo back again to Ampadu, down the left again to Junior Firpo, and Rigg tackles him, nods it down, ball goes out, throw to Leeds. Firpo back to Ampadu. Rodon in the centre circle, almost on the centre spot, plays it to his left again to Ampadu. Firpo back from halfway to Ethan Ampadu. 51 caps for Wales now, the 23-year-old, and back to Rodon. Rodon himself, a Welsh international, 44 caps, the 26-year-old, on loan from Tottenham. Here he is again, Rodon. Last season spent on loan at Rennes in France. Now Styles, the ball given away by Leeds, and he finds Clark on the left wing, halfway inside the Leeds half now. James is on the back foot, Clark's trying to come round Gray. Gray pushes him off, the ball played back to Styles. Styles through the middle to Jobe here. Jobe just a little bit too much shown to Ampadu, who whips it up to the halfway line. Ballard nods it down to Hume, who gets it out quickly here to Pembele on the right hand side. Pembele with Firpo in front of him, plays it back to Hume. Back again to Ballard. Ballard plays it back to Patterson. 0-0, 41st minute. O'Nien back to Patterson. Patterson just strolls out to the edge of his penalty area, takes the ball out into midfield, then kicks wide left, wide down the right onto the head of Firpo on the left for Leeds, and Hume plays it back inside to Ekwa, but it's slipped past him. Ruta comes off Neil as he tried to play it through to James, and Sunderland get it clear again. Ampadu through to Ruta. Ekwa's all over him. Referee's going to blow for a free kick. Right in the middle pretty much of the Sunderland half. Ball retrieved by Somerville down here at the foot of the advertising board. Gruev has got the ball at his feet, takes a short free kick to Kamara. Kamara down the right here now to Gray. Leaves it for James, who sweeps the cross in and it's gone behind for another corner to Leeds. Sixth corner of the first half. We played 42 minutes. It's Leeds United 0, Sunderland 0. Gruev again on the right.
That, you know, Sunderland, the way they've defended, the shape of the team has been very, very good.
Well, he definitely had a game plan, didn't he, Mike Dodds? And they've executed it very well. Here's the corner kick. Hume gets his head to it. It'll come out for a throw to Leeds on the left. Somerville jogs down to leave the throw in the end for Firpo to take. Firpo back to Ampadu, inside to Rodon, back to Ampadu, and inside again to Rodon here on the left for Leeds, but just inside the Leeds half. Ampadu, Rodon to Kamara, closed down by Jobe. Here's Rodon again to Ampadu on this left hand side, through to Somerville, back to Ampadu. He's looking for a gap, a channel down the left, but Ballard's got that first and cut out the ball from Bamford, but then gives it away to Firpo. Firpo down the left to Somerville. Somerville dribbling into the penalty area. Bamford's behind him, and Bamford, his radar's well off. It's gone halfway between the corner and the post, the right post, for a goal kick.
And that's just come from Ballard. Bad distribution from the back.
It's like someone's flicked a switch here en masse. Everyone is just heading off to the. They all just suddenly got up in front of us and they're heading for the concourse.
Must be 3 pints.
It's 44th minute.
3 pints.
It's extraordinary. I mean, the way that happened. I don't know. This is.
No, it can't be 3 pints because Gabbers would have been gone.
Patterson with the kick away down the left and drops off Clark. Jobe keeps it in. He does find Styles. It's a little bit wild over there at the moment. It's just feet lashing at the ball rather than anybody controlling it. O'Nien gets the header off the halfway line, but it's played back down the right wing here for James. James now dribbling at Styles at the corner of the penalty area. Ball in the box is cut out by Ballard. James chases down, will let it run out for a throw, and Gray is coming on down to take this throw for Leeds United. In fact, he is going to take it now. It looked for a moment like James might take it, but Archie Gray with the throw back down the line to Rodon, inside to Ampadu, trying to play it through, thread it through. It's blocked by Neil, who taps it over the top, if you like, for Pembele to chase. Oh, and Ampadu trips, and Pembele takes advantage of the loose ball, but Firpo gets back and stabs it out. I think he caught Pembele by surprise, that, to be honest. Ampadu just tripped in front of him, and Pembele didn't react quickly enough. Hume plays the ball back here to O'Nien. O'Nien inside to Ballard. Ballard back to O'Nien. We're in the last minute, 1 minute. 45 seconds left of the first half. 0-0. Here's Hume, forwards to Ekwa on the halfway line. Now to Pembele. Pembele inside, it's tapped away by Kamara to Somerville. Somerville now sprinting away from Rigg, trying to thread it through to Bamford, who looked offside. He's gone round Patterson, turns the ball back through the penalty area, nobody there. Ruter's outside the box now, Styles in front of him, and Ruter finds Kamara. Kamara in the middle, 10 seconds of the minimum minute left. Gruev out wide to Gray, Gray back to Rodon. 5 seconds of the minimum minute left. Here's Kamara. Kamara has got Rigg in front of him. Kamara with the referee just in front of him. He plays it to Gruev. This surely is the end of the first half.
Whistle now.
Whistle's blown. And he quickly went to intervene, Tim Robinson, sensing that Job and I think Rodon were just about to flare up. But job half done by Sunderland and Mike Dodds. Clean sheet at half-time, 0-0. They've been very disciplined. They've actually grown into the game. And the last 15-20 minutes, you could argue Sunderland were the more likely to score.
Yeah, you've got to give plaudits to Mike Dodds and the players there, the way they've set up, the way they've frustrated Leeds. And you've got to say, you know, Sunderland at times have been a better team. You know, we've been calm when we've won the ball. The amount of times we've nicked it, we've kept hold of it. And then we started to grow with confidence and cause them 1 or 2 problems.
The second half, the only thing you can ask for really is the same again. I mean, Leeds are going to, they will tweak things, won't they? Leeds will do something.
Well, there we go. Let's load up the socials and let's have a look and see what's going on here.
You look at that first 45 minutes, one thing's for sure is what the manager's going to do. He's going to try to increase the tempo. You know, he's going to be thinking that we need to be a little bit more forward thinking, you know, get the ball out quicker to the likes of Somerville. You know, James, we've done a good job on James because he's not been able to get into the game. But we've got to do that for the second half now, the second 45 minutes.
One blot in the first 45 minutes was a yellow card for Dan Ballard. I think it was, I don't think it was a yellow card. I think the referee was a little bit too over the top with it. But nonetheless, he's on a yellow card, and that is in itself a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, it is indeed, but we've just got to, you know, Dan Ballard, he's Dan Ballard, and he's a good battle with Bamford. I think he's winning the battle. But yeah, he's just got to be careful in that second half.
So at the interval, all square, the second half to come on BBC Radio Newcastle and SAFC.com. Ellen Road, half-time, Leeds United 0, Sunderland 0.
So the total eclipse happened, and it was mainly visible in North America. Our reporter Nada was there.
Mother Nature is teasing us. There it is. Wow, that is spectacular.
I do like the start of that when she's talking about the total eclipse.
Bless her.
Nada's report there.
Right, are you guys ready for some socials then?
Seagulls are going absolutely crazy. I mean, that's just a standard day in the northeast, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Seagull isn't there nicking your
My
chips.
thoughts first. Well, like, I just think Leeds came at us. We weathered the storm a little bit. Sunderland's grown in confidence as the first half went on. I'm pleased the way we are. We've just got to be not so casual with our passes, because amount of times we can have possession and we'll give the ball away sloppily, and a team like Leeds will punish you. So we've got to book our ideas up on, you know, being careful where we're passing and who we're passing to. But overall, I'm happy with that, and you know, if we stay solid as we are, there's no reason why we can't beat these Yorkshire puddings. Sorry, Jacob.
Set up in a good shape. Lads have played very well actually, and frustratedly.
Yeah. Yorkshire Macklemore.
Of the crowd, I'm sure, over the mic, and towards the end of that half, Leeds fans were getting very frustrated. Leeds, you know, they play in a very controlled way. So they, you know, the two centre backs have had more touches than any player on the field for both sides, and they've just taken their time, possibly taken too much time, and that's what's caused the frustrations. And then, you know, Sunderland have had some good possession in the last 10-15 minutes.
Go for socials. Okay. Well, how does Job get first on the start sheet? Awful touch, never challenges or closes down. That's from John Nicholson. Another one about Job, Stuart Cutlass. Yeah, you disagree on that one. Stuart says Job needs to hold the ball up better. Had a few good chances at least. Craig says, got our tactics spot on tonight. They've got plenty of the ball but can't do much with it, and we look dangerous on the counter. Clark's looking more fitter, and if we've got that weapon on the left hand side, who knows what Clark can do. Stuart Lawson says, game of chess, just both teams sussing each other out, just waiting for one mistake before the pounce.
Where there's a bit more space than what they've been playing, you know, in the first half an hour of the game. They've been up against a purple wall for a lot of the time.
Yeah, and just one more then, because there will be a Leeds reaction in the second half, probably at the very start of the second half, because the crowd will expect it, if nothing else.
Yeah, absolutely. It is though, isn't it? I mean, it's a fairly sort of happy response from the Sunderland fans, but we all know if any slight mistake from Sunderland, like, and they've got the quality to punish you. As you say, they've got the majority of Premier League players. But the more it is 0-0, the more they're going to get nervous. Plus, I mean, let's not forget they've just come from a 2-1 nil against Coventry City. They'll be feeling the pressure.
Luckily, there was cover this time. But it'll just be a moment like that which this game will hinge on, and so far Sunderland have got 99% of those decisions.
That's always a first. I mean, we're good at getting our reversing the stats when team come and play us.
The defenders need a bit of relief, and that comes when people like Jack Clark has got hold of the ball and carried the ball up the field 40-50 yards. It just gives you the defenders, 10 or 15 seconds to get a breather, get themselves back together in a shape, prepare for the next barrage, and it might be the whole evening might be like that. But if they come away with a point, it will be well earned. And also, you're always asking a question, aren't you? You could hear the nerves jangling of the Leeds fans when we did have those little forays into the penalty box. And look, we've had a couple of near misses. Pembele got down the flank in the first few minutes, and he smashed the ball across, which Jack Clark almost had to. He was trying to get his head on it, but he ended up sort of putting his arms up because it was going to smash him in the face. Yeah. It came at him like a rocket, and it only needs one of those little moments. He came inside his fullback there, and Mesleo was sat on his backside, but just couldn't. There wasn't enough space for Jack to sneak in, but. It gives you a lift if you can get a few moments like that in the half, and just keep putting a bit of doubt in Leeds' minds through that half.
We will see how the second half progresses.
Let's go and read some of these comments then. Hang on, lads. Jonathan Mark has said. Let's get these headphones off so I can hear what's going on. Get these headphones off so I can see.
3 minutes before half time. Norwich are 2-0 up now away at Sheffield Wednesday. Josh Sargent and Borja Sainz, and Southampton lead Coventry.
Right, Jonathan says I'd take Ballard off at half time so he doesn't get sent off. Swift says, oh wait, I only now realise this game is actually being broadcast where I live. I forgot just until now. Kevin says, not doing so bad. Geordie stream back second half. Alright mate, enjoy your cup of tea, whatever. Paul says, good discipline display so far. Rick and Pembele will tire out about 70 minutes with the amount of chasing about they've done. Geordie thought it was funny about Yorkshire puddings. Could scan some of them, like, absolutely, me with Yorkshire puddings. David Jackson, Job isn't good enough. He's hot and cold, isn't he? The Geordie stream would be happy if it stays 0-0, points a point. That'd be a massive point tonight, wouldn't it? A huge 2 points drop for Leeds. Neil Denby, welcome mate. Cheers Cabby for the feed again from Timbuktu. Hope you're well mate, thanks for joining in. David Jackson, we will beat Southampton 5. Well, we beat Southampton 5-0, let's hope. Yeah, absolutely. Toon be soon, he says.
Non-league wise tonight, should have had Gateshead against Aldershot at the International Stadium, and despite all the work that the players and the staff and the groundsmen and the volunteers and everybody imaginable put in to try and make the pitch playable, it wasn't. It was called off just 15 minutes before kick-off tonight, so goodness knows when Gateshead and Aldershot reschedule that one for. We're keeping an eye on a couple of games in National League North tonight as well, not because either of our teams are playing, South Shield and Blythe Spartans, but because there are 2 games that have a big impact on Blythe down the bottom of the table, because Blythe have actually dropped into the relegation zone as it stands tonight because of 2 other games. So Rushall Olympic are 2-0 up on Bishop Stortford, who are already relegated. South Shields beat them 7-0 at the weekend. Rushall lead 2-0, and Farsley Celtic are drawing 0-0 at Peterborough Sports. So that puts Blythe Spartans into the relegation zone as it stands. We'll tell you how they finish later on as well. In the Northern Premier League East Division, both of our sides trying to catch Stockton at the top of the table, and they're both winning at half-time. Hebburn 1-0 up away at Carlton thanks to Amar Purawal, and Dunstan 1-0 up on Sheffield FC. Jack Maskell with a penalty there. All but one of the Northern League games tonight because of the weather. And incidentally, in the last sort of 10-15 minutes or so, the Northern League has put out a statement.
Knox is just amazing.
That the season can be extended. They previously rejected a request for an extension. So all league and playoff games must now be completed by the 11th of May. That is only a 5-day extension. The original end date was
James B, hello! Holding our own tonight. We certainly are so far.
So that's where the game is played at the ground of the club that's normally the away team.
Just chuffed to bits with the amount of people that have subscribed to my channel tonight, thank you. 51 likes, that's great. We've reached the half century. I'm so pleased. There's been 170 odd watching the stream tonight, and that's with it being on Sky as well. So massive thanks for people who's watching. Means a lot, it really does.
And then a Harry Kane penalty has given Bayern Munich a 2-1 lead at the Emirates, and Manchester City, who were also 1-0 up at Real Madrid, are now also 2-1 down. Bernardo Silva for Manchester City early on, but Eduardo Camavinga and Rodrigo with Real Madrid's goals. So both Arsenal and Manchester City losing by a couple of goals to nil. In Women's Euro 2025 qualifying, a lot of the home nations in action tonight. Wales continued their perfect start this afternoon actually to the campaign. They beat Kosovo 6-0 away from home. Jess Fishlock was captain as she won her 150th cap. Northern Ireland were 3-1 winners away at Bosnia and Herzegovina. Tonight, 7:30 kickoffs. I think Scotland actually was 7:35, but England was 7:30 away in Ireland. They're 2-0 up. Lauren James and Alex Greenwood from the penalty spot. She also missed a penalty after she'd scored one as well, Alex Greenwood. But England 2-0 up away at Ireland. Scotland drawing 0-0 at home to Slovakia. Rachel Corsie getting her 150th international cap tonight as well. And as we've been speaking, another goal in League One, Stevenage now lead Barnsley by 2 goals to 1 away from football. The snooker.
Send some up my way, Kevin.
Wilson will be the 10th seed for the World Championships at the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield. They start, it's come right quickly, isn't it? They start a week on Saturday. He's the only North East player guaranteed to take part. There are a few of them in qualifying that will take place over the next 10 days or so. But Gary Wilson, has been chatting to the BBC's Mark Tulip, firstly about the increased recognition that comes from winning 3 ranking tournaments in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's obviously it's flattering. It's nice, you know, when you go out and about, and no matter where you kind of go, there's somebody comes up and recognises you and maybe asks you for a photo or an autograph, and yeah, you've just got to sort of embrace it, I guess. It's part of the process if you're doing well. So yeah, I enjoy it, and as I say, I'm flattered by it. And
we are, Chris. We're holding our own. There's a long way to go yet.
As well, so yeah, it's good.
And of course, you had a high-profile game the other day, Tour Championship. You got to the semi-final, and it was 7-all against Ronnie before he just sort of got over the line at the end. But those sort of games against other big-name players, they can only boost the profile further.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, if you're you know, still getting to sort of the latter stages of big events like that, then as you say, the profile can only get better. So it was a bit unfortunate that even though I didn't play great, I was sort of, as you say, at 7-all, and it was, as I say, it was just unfortunate that Ronnie sort of put together a little burst at the end there, and I didn't really get much of a shot. Would have liked to have played better, but as I say, the positives are still getting to the latter stages of a big event, and yeah, just trying to keep pushing forward and being more consistent as best I can.
And you've won these 3 ranking titles in the last 18 months or so. Would you say you're in the best form of your life?
It's a tough one. It is a really weird one for me, because obviously it's brilliant. They are the positives. I've won 3 tournaments in recent times, and in spells I've been good, you know.
Blenchy, I'm born and bred Sunderland, but I live now in Warwick Bridge, which is a village about 3 miles east of Carlisle. I've lived here since 1991. That's when I left school.
But there's more in there that I know I'm capable of showing if I just find my game, what I know I'm capable of in practice and things like that, you know. So.
Well, cheers for the 3. I've just had 3 more subscribers there. Thank you very much. Honestly, thank you. It means a hell of a lot. Yeah, I often go into the Toon channel. They do a cracking stream there. There's a good bunch of lads and lasses that talk about just general chat and stuff, but they make us feel welcome. Great lads and lasses, and it's good banter. The Toon review or something they call it.
That was amazing, and it can only put us in good stead going forward in the future if I can get to that.
So yeah, the good lads and lasses.
Let's push on and hopefully go a step or 2 further. That would be the dream, yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed too for Gary Wilson at the World Snooker Championships later on.
Swift says it'd be nice. This next half will be the first I've seen live since I've only begun following the club seriously literal days before being a manager. I know. Oh, you know it, do you? There's plenty. Watching on a pub. Hate myself watching Man City. Can't watch the lads, says Richard Charlton. And I think they're losing as well, Man City, aren't they? Swift, not only are basically Sunderland matches broadcast here, but I also did not want to watch Bale's managing whatsoever. Who did? Cheers for the sub, Blenchy, mate. Means a lot, man. Thanks, man. Yeah, you've seen us on the Toon review a lot. Yeah, actually great lads and lasses at the spot on. As the Pennyman Pundit, do we ever run at the deck of Heggy, mate? Used to pick him up a few times, but I think he's away in Thailand somewhere. Toon review, I go there as well. Like I say, yeah, it's a great channel, and you know, it's interesting banter. So here comes the second half again, and I'll shut my trap and let the commentary do the talking. See you soon, guys.
Just before half time, a little bit of frustration starting to kick in with the supporters, but that's the way Sunderland have gone out, because you know, we started to get Jack Clark into the game and he's starting to be a threat.
So now the 2 teams are coming out for the second half. Well, Leeds are certainly. They're going out. They're out, no doubt, with Daniel Farkas' half-time instructions ringing in their ears as Sunderland sprint out of the tunnel in their lilac and lavender away kit this evening. Leeds all in white. Jack Clark immediately takes a swig out of a drinks bottle down in front of the dugout. I always laugh at that. They've been in the dressing room 15 minutes when you think they could have a drink, and the first thing they do when they come out is have a drink.
Yeah.
But, thank you to Marco for the coffees. Only half a cup.
I know, I was going to say that as well.
Don't worry.
It's okay,
That's
Marco.
Okay.
I mean, if you're going to do a job, do it half.
You've been a barista, have you? Your Italian roots. Oh well.
It was going to cost him more if it was a full cup.
We're on the way. Second half. Sunderland getting us underway. They're attacking the goal to our left. The Don Revie stand. Patterson away to our right in bright orange. Meslier in lime green. And here, battling for it with Styles. is Dan James, gets it to Archie Gray, slips it through the legs of Neil, crashes into
Great
O'Nien.
tackle. That's a great tackle.
That looked like a fair, strong challenge to me, and a yellow card for O'Nien.
What was wrong with that tackle?
Well, back in your day, I'm sure it was absolutely fine. Now, when you're not allowed to touch anybody, that was full on.
I can't believe that's a yellow card. Never mind a foul.
That was what you might describe as a good old-fashioned shoulder barge, wasn't it?
A good old-fashioned tackle. That's what I call it.
It was solid, put it that way. Rodon plays the ball into. Then Hume just throws Bamford to the floor. Comes back to O'Nien. O'Nien now playing it to Ballard, who, like O'Nien, the two centre-backs on yellow cards now in the game. And O'Nien back to Patterson. Bamford goes to close him down. Patterson plays it out to the right, swings it out with his right foot down towards the halfway line. I mean, there is a strong wind blowing, and now James trying to head it forwards for Ruter. O'Nien holds Ruter off, out to Styles on this left-hand side. Clark on the left wing trying to slip inside. Clark forced back, plays it back to Patterson. Patterson at the edge of his area, out to Hume, forwards down the right wing to Pembele. Pembele trying to shake off Firpo, looking for Rigg, comes back through to Ampadu, though, the Leeds captain, and then Rodon playing it wide to Firpo. Firpo inside on the left, and then back it comes to Ampadu, floats one over the top, it'll run through to Meslier, and eventually back through, to Patterson, and Patterson will drop it to his feet and kick this in the wind. Now you can see the effect the wind had on the halfway line. The ball just got held up and dropped on halfway, and then comes through to Meslier. And he's closed down by Job. Job swings his right foot through it, out for a throw to Sunderland. Caught handsomely in the front row and thrown back over the head of the dugout and Mike Dodd. And Styles comes across to take the throw for Sunderland. Styles a third of the way inside the Leeds half. He is going to try and find Job. Rodon stuck his foot out though, and Gruev plays it back to Meslier. Way to our left as we look from the John Child stand. 0-0, the opening few minutes of the second half. The French goalkeeper out into midfield, plays it to his right to the Welshman, Joe Rodon, back to Meslier, and then it will go to the other Welshman, Ampadu, back again to Meslier, and then with his left foot swings it wide, looking for Archie Gray, heads it on, looking for James. O'Nien's headed it down to Neil. James Gray is all over O'Nien, no foul. Kamara, and now Ruter just gave too much of it, showed too much of it to Neil, and out for a throw to Sunderland. We played 4 minutes of the second half. O'Nien's going to take this throw halfway inside his own half on the left-hand side. We're live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Benno will be on air till 10:30 tonight. Feel free to call him as the ball hooked away by Rodon, who gives Styles a big shove in the back. Styles just has a big smile on his face. Back to Mike Dodds. Is that a sign of Leeds getting a little bit rattled? Millwall 1, Leicester City 0. Here's Job. Ball comes down though for Gruev, the Bulgarian international. Ekwa wins it back, leaves it for Styles on the left. Down the line to Clark. Clark slips inside. Gray stabs it away. Kamara plays it out on halfway. It's caught underneath the right foot of Daniel Farker. Throw again to Sunderland. Luke O'Nien down to take this, drying the ball off under his shirt again. A couple of yards down from the halfway line. And it's the Sunderland fans you can hear singing away to the right of us in this main stand as Styles trying to get away from Gruev, checks and comes back now, plays it back to Job on the left here. Job turns away from Dan James, slips it into the middle to Ekwa. Ekwa to Hume. Hume wide now to Pembele. Pembele, Firpo in front of him, Somerville inside him as well. Plays it back to Hume again. And Hume back to Patterson. Bamford's give chase. Patterson gets there first. It floats up into the Leeds half. Now trying to break is Rigg. Ampadu's on his shoulder. Rigg tried to play it back to Pembele, but Firpo was there. Gets it back to Rodon. And Rodon now being chased by Job. And Job blocks it, and it spins out for a throw to Leeds.
Unlucky.
Well, they're not giving Leeds any respite. It's 0-0 still. Firpo with the throw. Hume heads it into the middle. Gruev trying to get James away, but Styles is there to hook it back onto the head of Gruev. Back onto halfway. Ruter. He's on the shoulder of Neil. Gets it out to the left wing. Firpo. Somerville. Back inside to Firpo.
Well done, well done.
Out it goes after Rigg and Pembele.
Pembele,
got
excellent
stuck in
play.
for a throw to Sunderland, which Hume is going to take. Hume 10 yards or so back inside the Sunderland half with the throw down the line, looking for Job, hooked away by Firpo. It's in the air, hangs, drops. Neil tries to control it. Rigg trying to get on the end of it, gets his foot to it, brings down Ruter, no foul, and away goes Clark down the left wing. Can he get to it before Gray? He just plays it off the corner flag and back out for a throw.
He's given it the other way.
Well, it's given to Leeds. And referee ushering Gray right back to the corner. Southampton 2, Coventry 1. Coventry pulling a goal back. Ball goes out again. 53rd minute. Luke O'Nien gets the ball, plays it off the advertising hoarding back into his hands. Mike Dodds in conversation with Alex Chilowich, the fourth official. Throw down the line, comes off the ankles of the heel of Styles. Back down the Leeds right, Rodon just keeps it in. James flicks it on, looking for Bamford. Bamford leaves it for Ruter. He finds Somerville, great ball. Somerville skips away, Pembele's going with him.
Well
Somerville to the edge of the penalty area, rolls it through here, down goes James. The referee is going to, what?
Offside.
Offside. Everyone hearts in their mouths for a minute as James went down under the challenge, and then referee just looked across, flag was up,
yeah, offside. I tell you what, Pembele did excellent there.
To get back.
He did. His pace. Because Somerville is not a slouch, by the way.
Kamara did well to get the ball through to him, actually. So 0-0 still. 54th minute. Patterson with the kick. Floats up towards Job. Takes it on his chest, held off Ruter. Kamara wins it though, Ruter. And Gruev plays it out to Gray. Out for a throw to Leeds again on the right. And Gray will take the throw. Archie Gray, back it comes to Joe Rodon. Rodon, Clark gives chase, plays it across to Ampadu. Ampadu back to Meslier, and Meslier taps it out to Rodon. Rodon going through the middle. Kamara slight to his left ahead of him. Back to Ampadu, across to Rodon again. And then wide to James. Patrick Roberts warming up down below us. Here's James. Clark giving chase. James still going. Job stabbed it away, but to Ruter. Ruter finds Somerville at the edge of the D. Flicks it through to Bamford. Back to Somerville. Too many shirts are there around him, and then Ruter smashes it wide.
Great defending.
And it's a corner kick.
Fantastic defending.
So down goes Gruev on the Leeds right to take the corner kick, their 7th of the game. In the 11th minute of the second half, Gruev with his left foot towards the far post, headed away by Job. out to James, bobbles through past the post. I'm liking to think, or tended to think, that Patterson knew that was going wide. So a goal kick to Sunderland. We're in the 56th minute. Patrick Roberts, the sole Sunderland substitute, warming up at the moment.
I think he might come on for Rig.
Yeah. Kick from Patterson, headed back by Ampadu. Behind him, Job trying to get on the end of it. Firpo gets it back to the goalkeeper and played out to Rodon. Across to his left to Ampadu, back to Rodon, and Rodon forwards looking for Gray's run, but Styles is there, but it slips past him, and Styles is all over the back of Ruta, and a free kick to Leeds.
Yeah. Mix up there between Styles and Dan Neil.
This on the right hand side of midfield. Kamara.
Yeah, he's going to come on now, Patrick Roberts.
Yeah, Roberts is going to come on. Plymouth 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. That's a huge game at the bottom of the table. Now Rodon in the centre circle, trying to get it through to Bamford. He's on his backside. Somerville's got it, blocked. It's come for Rig. Rig now gets past one tackle, but loses in the second, and eventually O'Nien dinks it out to the right hand side to Pembele, but whipping round him is Somerville, and Somerville comes away with the ball before he's tugged down.
He's going to get booked.
Rig's going to get booked here.
Yeah.
Yellow card for Rig. He joins Ballard and O'Nien in Tim Robinson's notebook. Roberts then ready to come on. I think you're right, it'll be Rig he replaces. 0-0. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle as the free kick pass back to Ampadu, now Rodon, and out to the right to Gray. Gray back to Rodon, just in the Sunderland half. Ampadu trying to get it to Gruev. Gruev back to Rodon. Rodon wide to James. James running at Styles down the right side of the penalty area. Styles trying to stick with him. James's cross headed away by O'Nien. Comes out to Clark. Clark now head down, trying to skip past Ruta. And Ruta goes down, the ball breaks loose, Joe picks it up, looks for Pembele, good ball. Pembele now away on the right hand side, Rig just inside him. Rig now trying to get forward, trying to play it through. It's blocked though by Firpo, but Pembele runs onto it on the right of the penalty area. And Pembele now trying to come past the Dominican Republic international, and he plays it out for a throw to Sunderland down in the corner on the right hand side. Will the substitution be made now? It looks like it may well be before the throw is taken. Or is it going to be
Chris Rig
throw first, then substitution? No, it's going to be substitution first. Rig is jogging off. Roberts is coming on. Another good hour for Chris Rig.
Yeah, he's done excellent. Well done.
Applauds the Sunderland fans, punches the air. It's 0-0, half an hour to play. Throw from Pembele, back down the line to Ekwa. Flicked by Roberts, back to Ekwa out on that right-hand side. It's a battle on the touchline, the ball stays in, Ekwa comes out with it, and now plays it back to O'Nien on the halfway line. Out wide to Styles on this left-hand side. Back to O'Nien, inside to Ekwa. Kamara went to close him down, back to O'Nien on halfway into his own half, and rolls it back to Dan Ballard. Bamford's on his case, but Ballard swings it out to the right. Great ball down from Pembele, but he couldn't quite find Job. Runs past him back to Meslier. Meslier, Rodon out to Gray on this right hand side. Gray back to Rodon, back to the goalkeeper, and the D comes out into midfield. and then plays it to Rodon again, looking for James. Comes back to Job. That little flick to Starlight. No, it could fall for Clark here.
Go on, finish
down
it.
the left
Roll
into
it.
the penalty area. Rolls it in. Oh, it's smashed behind by Ampadu for a corner to Sunderland. Suddenly it all looked on for Sunderland, but the final ball in cut out by Ampadu, smashing it behind. Roberts comes down to take the corner on the left-hand side. Clark jogging across here to the left. Somerville's gone with him, the Dutchman. And Roberts then from the left, dummy to play it short. Now goes in with his left to the towards the back of the penalty area. Job nods it down, headed out by Firpo, I think it was, and eventually across to Pembele on that far side. Kamara all over him. Kamara managed to flick the ball away and come away with the ball, passes it down the left touchline. James making the break now, running at Hume, cuts across the back of the area. Job slides in, takes James out.
Free kick.
And a free kick to Leeds, right on the edge of the penalty area. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Norwich 2. Sheffield Wednesday pulling a goal back.
Another booking.
A booking for Job.
Yeah.
They're all willing to get yellow carded for the cause tonight. So this free kick, a yard out left side, the back of the penalty area. Elise's having a warm-up. Gruev, Somerville and Bamford in the wind having a conversation. Somerville shielding his mouth with his gloved hand as Bamford strolls back into the penalty area.
Somerville up onto this.
Oh, he's certainly placed the ball. It looks as though he is the one who's going to take the free kick. 18 goals this season, 17 of them in the Championship for Crescencio Somerville. And the wind has just blown the ball off the mark that Somerville placed the ball. A hefty puff of wind then took the ball a good 2 or 3 feet.
Oops, a daisy. This is going to be interesting.
Chris Bagg blows hurtling towards Somerville at the moment and into the penalty area.
Did somebody put their finger on it and hold it?
I wonder who's having to put his Gruev is having to put his foot on the ball to keep it in place, because the wind is gusting strongly through the
If he moves,
pitch.
if the ball moves and he hits it, he'll have to take it again.
Well, that's the rule. The wind is behind Leeds in this second half. He daren't step more than a couple of feet away from the ball. And Somerville will take the free kick. Oh, he scores. No, he doesn't. Oh, for a moment I thought that had dropped in and everyone else did, I think. But it hasn't, it's gone behind. Well, for a moment, the angle was that looked to me, and with the reaction of everybody's crowd, for a moment I thought they'd scored, but they haven't. It's still 0-0, rest assured. In the 64th minute, Patterson with the goal kick drives this into the wind. Job is beaten in the air by Gruev, but it drops to Dan Neil. Neil now trying to get away from Ruta, and he does so. Ruta slipped down. Neil down the right. He's tackled by Ruta, and Somerville now is trying to escape Dan Neil. Somerville over the halfway. Oh, he's tripped by Hume.
He's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. He did dive.
He let play go on. The advantage was it.
To be fair, he tried to make a meal of it, didn't he? Really, Somerville.
I think the referee might have thought that as well. Rodon now to Ampadu. Ampadu slips it through straight to Ballard. Ballard bringing this up towards the halfway line. Now looking for Pembele. It's not the greatest of balls through past Roberts. Up to Meslier. And he passes it out to Rodon.
The game's becoming a little
bit stretched. It's stretched, isn't it? I was going to say, it's starting to get open, starting to get stretched. And here's Meslier. Takes the ball outside the penalty area again, leaves it for Rodon. Job goes to close him down. It's played back to Ampadu and back again to Meslier in the penalty area. Out to Rodon. Clark goes to put pressure on the keeper. The keeper kicks over halfway. Somerville heads it inside. Ruta takes it down. Pembele takes him out. Play allowed to go on by Tim Robinson. Somerville flicks it back to Kamara. Back onto halfway to Gruev. Elise's going to come on for Sunderland. Here's Rodon on halfway on the centre spot. Back to Ampadu. Out wide to Firpo. Pembele blocks it again. Plays it inside to Roberts. Roberts digs it out. Comes back to Ampadu though in the Leeds half. Inside to Rodon. Preston 2, Huddersfield 1 is Ampadu to Rodon again. And you can hear the home supporters getting tense, getting frustrated. Oh, Zakwa fouls Ruta on the far side. He picks himself up, quick free kick.
Another free kick.
Firpo's gone down, another free kick. And this is 20, 30 yards out on the left. About 15 yards from touch. Somerville and Gruev over the free kick again. So who's Elise coming on for?
Who do you think?
I think it'll be
Pembele.
Pembele's been doing all right for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure I would. Styles. The ball swept in by Gruev. Whistle's gone.
Foul
on Ballard by Dan James. You know, if I had to have a bet, I'd just guess at Styles. But Plymouth 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. They paused the substitution, Sunderland. And it's come back for Patterson to take the free kick. Swings it out to Styles on the
great ball
right side. He tried to get it in to Neil, but it's been intercepted. And it'll be down the right wing to James, who's dribbling down the right side of the penalty area, blocked by Styles. Ballard clears only as far as Ruta. Swings his left foot at it. It swings a foot or so wide of the right post.
Yeah, he might bring Pembele up and put Trey Hume on that side.
Here comes Elise now, yeah, we're going to see the change now. So, Leeds are going to make a change as well. Is that Nyonto who's going to come on? It's Pembele, you were right, who's going to come off.
Maybe Trey Hume will go and play over there and Leslie will go and play centre-back.
Yes. That's certainly an option, isn't it? It's now Sheffield Wednesday 2, Norwich 2. Well, I think Pembele's done all right tonight.
Yeah, he has indeed.
And rightfully getting a couple of pats on the back from Mike Dodds and Michael Proctor. Goal kick for Sunderland. We've got just over 20 minutes left to play. It's 0-0. And it's a kick into the Leeds half, taken on by Ampadu. Showed a little bit too much to Ekwa. Hume, Roberts ahead of him. And it's still... he goes down right on the edge of the penalty area. And it's a free kick.
They're saying it should be a penalty.
As Hume went down.
But I think he was just outside.
He was just outside. Hume was the player who went down. Right on the edge of the penalty area. Elise's the left-sided centre-back. And Hume, as you rightly say, has gone as the right wing-back.
Yeah, Firpo got booked there.
So booking for Firpo.
Yeah. I think Nocto's coming on, isn't he?
Nyonto, yeah. Nyonto. Wilfred Nyonto, the Italian international. Yellow card shown to Firpo. This free kick. Roberts will fancy this. Ekwa probably wouldn't mind a pop himself. But
the wind.
Yeah, it's against the wind as well for Sunderland. Wilfred Nyonto. Preston 3, Huddersfield 1. The referee marching the wall back. And Nyonto's just tying up his bootlaces. Roberts and Ekwa then. Roberts is surely going to take this.
Hit the target.
Super opportunity for Roberts if he can. It's right on the goal, on the 18-yard line, right-hand side, almost at the corner of the penalty area. Meslier crouched for a moment, bobbing up and down on his goal line. Roberts with his left, curls it in. No, it's parried, but away from Job. Meslier made the save, but it wouldn't run into the path of a Sunderland player in front of him. Job's run onto it. Styles down the left of the penalty area, back out to Job and back again to Clark on this left-hand side and back to Hume on halfway. Ruta goes to close him down. Hume has played it wide on the right and away from O'Nien for a throw, and Nyonto's going to come on now.
For James, do you think?
For Kamara. So in the 71st minute, Leeds make their first change. Will Nyonto. On he goes. He's one of the players at the beginning of the season, we understand, doesn't it? We were talking about this before the game. Didn't want to play in the Championship, but has since changed his mind, if you like, and he's now part of Daniel Farke's plans at the end of this season as the ball's swept up by Leeds to Dan James. It came off him awkwardly and Elise hooks it away into touch. Nyonto races down to take the throw, 10 yards from the corner, down to Gray, back to Nyonto, inside then to James. James flicking it out wide and leaves it for Gray. Gray gets away from Elise into the penalty area, gets it back. Gray blocked by Elise for a corner to Leeds. Guev, as always, on the right in the 73rd minute, goes to take this corner from the right-hand side with his left foot, drops in the 6-yard line. Roberts hooks it out, and it will come up to Archie Gray on the halfway line, left of the centre circle, and back to Meslier, who's in the middle of the Leeds half, and his lime green drives the ball right back up the other end with the wind. For half a second there, I dreaded the wind catching it and taking over Patterson's head, but he's taken it down, played it to O'Nien, and down the right wing here, Hume crashes into Firpo for the challenge, and it's gone out for a Sunderland throw. And Mundle's warming up now as well. Clark's been quieter in this second half. A couple of bursts early on, but now this throw, which O'Nien again drying the ball off under his shirt, halfway inside his own half on the right hand side. Sunderland in there, Lavender and Lilac, the ball down the line, bounces back here to Ampadu, who gets it away from Roberts, back to Meslier in the middle, and he passes it out to Rodon. Leeds 0, Sunderland 0.
You know what I'm laughing about?
No.
They don't want to come out onto this right-hand side, do they?
They don't. No, they don't.
They don't want to come to this right-hand side.
I think the fear is losing it to Clark, isn't it? Yeah. Here's Bamford. Ruta through to James, edge of the area, skips into the box, tries to flick it through to Nyonto.
Well done, Ballard.
Wins a corner.
Done, Ballard. Excellent defending again.
Preston 4, Huddersfield 1. Somerville then the corner from the left-hand side at the Norman Hunter stand end of Ellen Road. Passed it short here to Dan James on the left edge of the penalty area. Chips it in, headed out by O'Nien. Strong out into midfield. Ampadu brings it down. Right foot, low shot, which bobbles wide. Well wide, and a goal kick to Sunderland. 16 minutes left to play, thereabouts of the 90. Goalless.
It's been an excellent performance by Sunderland.
It's been a good game, and it's not a performance in where they've just sat back. They've had their chances. They've certainly been prepared to have a go. Patterson with a kick up through the middle. Jobe's beaten by Gruev, who gets down low to head it on. Neil back up. Gruev and Jobe again. It's stuck between Jobe's legs. Jobe gets up. Nyonto gets the ball away with a loose ball. It's played through to Somerville by Ruta. Somerville into the penalty area. O'Nien's gone with him. Knocks it behind for a corner. It might be all hands to the pumps here for Sunderland. It's a 10th Leeds corner, and Nyonto's gone and left it for Somerville. Nyonto jogging back into the penalty area, to the back of the penalty area.
Concentration, yes, Patterson.
Somerville with his right swings this in, it hangs in the air a moment, and it's headed goalwards, and there's appeals for handball, and the Leeds are very, very vociferous with the appeal. They've all run back to the referee with their right arms raised, pointing to handball. He's not going to change his mind. The assistant's shaking his head. Daniel Farker is arguing with the fourth official momentarily.
No.
They're showing replays here. I'm trying to watch the game and the replay, actually. Was it a hand? What Marco's saying was a handball.
There was only one hand.
But Leeds, well, they were so vociferous in their appeal that you felt they were probably right, and it looks like they were.
They appealed, and you know what they were waiting for? VAR.
Well,
you don't get it in this division, mate.
Sunderland, it might just be shining on them tonight, the luck, but it looks like Sunderland got away with one then. But then you play on, you take your luck. Here's Firpo, it's 0-0 still. It's laid off by Nyonto, comes through to Firpo, back to Nyonto on the left of the penalty area, on the corner, and he's going to try and wheedle his way in past for Somerville.
That's
Hughes
a foul.
got in front of him, and Somerville fouls him.
Excellent defending.
Free kick to Sunderland. We're in the 77th minute. Well, a draw would be seen as a serious dent from Leeds' point of view, with only 4 games remaining after this. Carlisle, relegated Carlisle, have won 1-0 at Cheltenham in League One. Remember all the other games this evening, largely kicking off at 7:45. Patterson takes the free kick. Hangs in the air, headed by Hume on towards Roberts, back to Hume. But Ruta gets in front of him, swings it down the left wing. Ballard heads it away, comes to Ekwa, leaves it for O'Nien, who hooks it in the air over the halfway line. Bobbles onto the head of Ampadu. Now Jobe gets a foot to it. Hume down the right. Roberts plays it through to Ekwa. Ekwa, though, surrounded by 3 Leeds players. Firpo managed to turn it away from Ekwa, out for a throw. 2 Leeds on halfway, on the left-hand side. Back it goes to Ampadu from Firpo, inside to Rodon. Across here now to Gray. Down the line, James looking for Nyonto, out to the right wing, gets it down the right to James, hooked away by Styles. Back up into the Leeds half, stays in. Rodon being chased by Jack Clark. Rodon gets it back inside the penalty area to Meslier. Clark still chasing. Meslier kicks this up over halfway onto the head of Hume. On to Ekwa in the Leeds half, finds Jobe. Jobe turns away, plays it back behind him to Neil, back to Jobe. Jobe then to Ballard in the centre circle. Ballard to Hume ahead of him on the right of midfield. Hume still going, he's going to shoot, but it's going to go over, a long way over, into the upper tier of the Don Revie stand. Leeds United 0, Sunderland 0. 79th minute. The ball with Ampadu. Ampadu bringing this out into midfield, slipping it to Nyonto. Neil goes to close him down, comes back to Ampadu. I think Leeds are going to make another change here. They are.
It's a young lad coming on, isn't it?
Joel Pirot, the Dutchman, is going to come on. By the looks of things, I think it might be a double change, actually. It's Pirot and one other, by the looks of things. It's a free kick to Sunderland on the halfway line.
It might be Joseph.
Joseph Matteo.
Matteo Joseph, the young lad.
Yeah, sorry, Matteo Joseph, isn't it? It's that way around. Yeah. Matteo Joseph, the Spanish youngster, 20-year-old forward. Pirot then, and as you say, is possibly Matteo Joseph. 0-0, foul by Styles on Gruev. As Leeds ready the 2 substitutes. Daniel Farker giving Pirot instruction. Here's Gray on the right-hand side, down the right wing, looking for James, cutting inside, finds Nyonto. Back out to Gray, everybody rises to their feet. Gray's cross. Bamford lets it run, comes back down and on the goal line. Bamford gets his hand to it and Patterson gets his hand to it and catches it.
But you hear the cheers because they've actually come down on this right-hand side for the first time. Making three changes.
Connor Roberts is also coming on for Leeds. He's a right back actually, he's on loan from Burnley. 28-year-old. As Patterson kicks, ball very, very high in the air. Finally drops down into sight, and here's Rodon at the back for Leeds. Back to Meslier. Could be an interesting final 10 minutes as the ball goes out to Firpo on the far side, on the left for Leeds United in their white. Played on, looking for Ruta. Equa tried to get it away and gets it back to O'Nien. Neil now, and he's skipped the challenge of Firpo. Wide then to Roberts. Roberts head down, running at Ampadu. Still goes through into the middle after a challenge. And Roberts trying to slip it through to Dan Neil. Comes back to Roberts. Nyonto's on his shoulder. Equa's trying to get away from Nyonto. He plays it into Jobe down the right side of the penalty area. Blocked by Firpo. Comes down to Ampadu, who's happy just to lash it away. And it's going to be knocked out into the crowd by O'Nien. And it looks like Leeds will make the changes now in the 82nd minute. So Pirro's coming on for nobody according to the board. The fourth official showing up a ball with only number 7, but it's the James that is coming off.
Bamford, is it?
And again, he's not putting the numbers up that we can see, but Bamford's coming off for Joseph. And Roberts is Gray. So the 3 changes made: Archie Gray, the right back, replaced by right back Connor Roberts, Matteo Joseph up front for Bamford, and Joel Pirro for midfielder Dan James. 0-0. Here's Rodon.
They don't want to come on this right-hand side. He always goes back inside, doesn't he, Rodon?
Goes to the left to Ampadu every time. Here's Somerville looking for Roberts on the right here. Now the Welshman, the Welsh international, finds Nyonto. The Italian running at Styles. They all stand on their feet below us again as Neil comes down and gets in front of Nyonto. The ball rolls out for a goal kick, does it? Yes.
Good defending, Dan Neil.
And Neil trying to whip up the Sunderland fans down in the corner away to our right. Patterson gathers the ball. We've played 83 minutes. It's Leeds United 0, Sunderland 0. I think Mundell might be coming on for Sunderland. We're live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Benno will be with you till 10:30 tonight. Might be some good things to talk about this evening. Pirro, the ball drops to his feet. Back to Ampadu. Hamir's going to come on for Sunderland. That would be a story, wouldn't it? If he came on and scored, the winner. The ball is back with Meslier. Meslier drives it from the middle of the Leeds half, down the left, and it's away from Sunderland, out off Somerville for a Sunderland throw. Hume comes forwards to take this, and then leaves it for O'Nien. 0-0. Luke O'Nien, as ever, drying the ball off under his shirt, third of the way inside the Sunderland half on the right, down the line it goes, headed forwards onto halfway where Equa's wrestling and bringing down Ruta. Free kick to Leeds, literally just inside the Sunderland half, which Gruev takes, and then it's played out to the left-hand side here. Firpo down the left to Somerville. Somerville dribbling and trying to find Joseph at the edge of the penalty area, or Ruta. It's come back down for Firpo, who puts it out behind for a corner off Equa. '85th minute, 0-0. Somerville will take the corner from the left. Away to our right, it hangs in the air, it's a deep one, it's headed in the air by Elise, it's coming back down again now. Elise, was he pushed over?
Yeah.
He was, says the referee, by Ampadu. Free kick to Sunderland, double change for Sunderland. Hjelde and Hamir are going to come on. Hjelde back at his former club, of course. As Patterson, the assistant, was saying something to him. Patterson had his arms outstretched as to say, what do you want? He places the ball for the free kick. And you can hear those Sunderland fans down away to our right. Is this going to be Leeds' 5th draw at home this season? 0-0 as we go into the final 5 minutes. As Styles trying to hold off Gnonto, plays it inside, and Neil plays it, he's giving it away to Ruta, and now Pirot in the middle, rolling it into the path of Firpo. Firpo in the left corner of the penalty area, crosses into the box. Ekwa hooks it away out to the right. Roberts is going to give chase, trying to bring it down. Joseph's all over him, no foul, says the referee. Firpo goes down as well, comes back to Gruev. Gruev in the centre circle, leaves it for Rodon. Rodon out wide to Connor Roberts. Clark goes to close him down. Roberts bringing it inside, then playing it into the middle to Gruev. Gruev across to the left. Firpo, and he's got Somerville looking to break. Somerville on the left-hand side. Hume sticking with him. Somerville still going. Somerville in the middle, jogs back, leaves it now for Ampadu. Ampadu down the left again to Firpo. Back to Ampadu. 87th minute. As Ampadu to Ruta to Somerville. Challenged by Roberts, comes away with it. Somerville swings it into the box. Ballard heads it away. A chase for Styles, and it's going to run out for a throw to Leeds. 8-9 yards from the corner on the right. Roberts will take the throw. Hamir and Hjelde still waiting. Rodon from the right, back into the middle to Ampadu in the centre circle. Firpo forwards to Ruta. Ruta trying to dig this out, thrusts it really at Pirot. He's wrestling, tussling with Neil. Pirot manages to get the ball back to Gruev. Gruev to Firpo on the left of central midfield, and then down the left wing to Somerville again, who's taking on Hume, and Hume going with him, trying to get to the byline. Somerville went down too easily.
It's never a foul.
Goal kick.
He was going down.
And we're
Great
in the
defending again. Good defending by Treyu.
Minute. Patterson coming out to take the goal kick.
Today's official attendance inside Ellen Road, 36,793. 36,793. Thank you.
Sell out Ellen Road tonight. Well, we knew that. Looking around the stadium, it's goalless at the moment. How much time will be added on? I don't think it's going to be a huge amount. Neil drives it onto Roberts in the centre circle, back to Ekwa. Ekwa back to Elise. Elise back to Patterson. Patterson, Gnonto goes to close him down. Patterson kicks clear in the 89th minute, out on the wide right for Sunderland. It comes back to O'Nien, hooks it out, throw to Leeds. Firpo halfway inside the Sunderland half, looks to try and find Ruta, who does come away with the ball here. He's skipped through two challenges into the penalty area, goes down on the challenge from Ballard, who hooks it away from the goal line into touch. No penalty. Throw to Leeds. Ruta's lying on his back, lying on his side in the penalty area. Tim Robinson's coming to see what the issue with him is, and it's going to be a throw for Leeds. Ruta's hauled to his feet by Matteo Joseph. And Roberts, Connor Roberts is going to take the throw. Is it going to be a long throw into the penalty area? It looks like it may well be. We're in the last minute of the 90. Leeds, pretty much everybody up in the penalty area apart from the goalkeeper. So Roberts hurls the ball into the penalty area. It's headed away by Ballard, down to Ampadu, back to goal. He's closed down. Gnonto out in midfield, pushed out by Elise. Leaves it for Gruev. Gruev now trying to get the ball down the left to Roberts, and Connor Roberts to Somerville. Hume in front of him. Somerville taps it back to Ampadu. Ampadu to Nyonto in the middle of the Sunderland half. He drives one in, it takes a deflection, goes over the top for a corner. Meslier falls over on his back. Couldn't believe it. And we're going to have
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Daniel Farker can't believe it. He goes to the fourth official. He's arguing with the fourth official as Connor Roberts puts the corner in here, and it's headed over the bar onto the roof of the net by Rodon. Dan Ballard urging on the troops. Leeds fans starting to leave. Daniel Farker is still arguing furiously with the fourth official.
What's he arguing with him for?
He's not going to get any more time added on.
It's not his fault.
He's gone back to the fourth official.
It's not his fault though, is it?
No, he's walked away from him. He's gone back to him. He won't let it drop. Farker's furious. Patterson.
Is he going to blame that lost? You know, they didn't get the points.
Well, we've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Can Sunderland snatch victory here? They're not going to bring on Hamir and Hjelde, obviously, as the ball headed by Neil on down the left, away by Gruev. Nyonto on this right-hand side, Clark on his shoulder. Back to Connor Roberts, back to the goalkeeper. And now Clark goes to close Meslier down. He kicks it long, direct, headed away by Ballard. Hooked up off the foot of Ruta. Drops for Firpo on the far side. Chased by Patrick Roberts. Firpo still going. Tries to cross off the head of O'Neill, hangs in the air and will drop behind for a corner. A 13th Leeds corner. Hamir now is out. Is he going to get on? We've got less than a minute and a half of the 3 left to play. Somerville with the corner from the left-hand side. Body go down, 2 bodies go down. The ball breaks out to the left wing. Clark will just knock that up into the Leeds half. Everyone back on their feet. Comes back to Meslier, taps it to Nyonto.
What's he doing? He's centre half. He's playing centre half, is he?
Well, we've got now 1 minute left of the minimum 3, less than that. Ampadu plays it back to Gruev. Connor Roberts urging him to get the ball to him. Connor Roberts takes it on through the centre circle. Hamir just stands and watches from the dugout as Somerville swings it across to the right of the penalty area. Ruta trying to get around Styles on his left, curls one round the post and out for a goal kick. Hamir's going to come on now for the last 20 seconds by the looks of things. And who's he coming on for?
He come off for
Job, I think.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Come on for Bellingham.
So
excellent.
Off comes Job. So Hamir coming on in a moment as Job strolls off, applauding the Sunderland fans, Leeds fans leaving in their droves now. It's 0-0. I mean, it's a very, very commendable performance from Sunderland tonight.
Professional performance.
Disciplined, professional, hard-working. Patterson kicking his boots against the post. We're 3.5 minutes into added time. And the kick from Patterson hangs in the air. Up goes Hamir, brings the ball down for Roberts. Roberts trying to tap it to Neil, but won back by Gruev. To Joseph, out to Nyonto. Nyonto's played it back inside now to Gruev. Gruev looking to knock it over the top for Pirot. It bounces through to Patterson, who gratefully takes it and falls on the ball. And we played now 4 minutes of added time.
Ballard
has
been excellent.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And bear in mind he's on a yellow card as well. Patterson comes to the edge of his penalty area. Will this be the last kick of the game? Patterson, Tim Robinson has the whistle to his mouth. It's ended 0-0. The boos from the Leeds fans, but what a performance from Sunderland. Daniel Farker goes down and shakes the hand of the Sunderland coaching staff. But that
well done,
was,
Mike Dodds.
as was the first game that Sunderland won at the Stadium of Light, as you say, a masterclass in tactics.
Masterclass. You know, credit to the players. You know, great team performance, disciplined, stuck to the job. And in the end, they really frustrated Leeds. And I think coming away from that, Nick, you've got to say you've been a little bit disappointed with Leeds. You would expect a lot more.
Expected a lot
from them.
more, actually.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think we did expect a lot more from Leeds.
You know,
in a way, they were quite conservative.
Yeah, you know, you look at him, great the way they went about it. But you've got to say, Leeds, I was expecting more. Put it that way.
Well, we'll have to wait and see whether that's damaging to their promotion cause, dropping 2 points at home. They remain unbeaten at Ellen Road, of course, 16 wins and now 5 draws. But as you say, you expected more from them. Patterson really didn't have a huge amount to do, but full credit to Dan Ballard, Luke O'Nien, Adji Elise earlier on, of course, to Pembele as well, who I thought had a very good game.
I tell Putin to go away, Arnold.
You know, we've seen another side to Sunderland.
Oh, man.
The likes of Dan Neil, you know, the amount of tackles he made and they broke up possession, and Equa, you know, all of them, you know, Styles at left wing back did a job, you know, Pembele coming in as well, they all did a job. and again, you just stood up to it, you know, the physical challenge.
Yes, excellent performance from Sunderland tonight. One that hopefully will give them confidence for the final 4 games of the season. At Ellen Road, in front of 36,793. You'll have your say with Gary Bennett up until 10:30 tonight. Colin will be on standby now with all the numbers to text or call. It's finished at Ellen Road. Leeds United 0, Sunderland.
Are you guys ready for some socials? Oh, man of the match. That's a difficult one, isn't it? You guys ready for some? Are you ready for some socials? Right. Here we go. Ready for the socials. Stewie says, rode our luck and made life difficult for ourselves by not being able to hold the ball for most of the game, but the lads defended like warriors. Harry Tidbury says, the best I've seen Sunderland play for weeks, well organised and a brilliant fighting spirit. Just shows you what we can do if we turn our minds on and have the right attitude. John Metcalf says, well deserved SCFC, great defensive display, nullified one of the best teams in the Championship. What a great effort by the team. Keep Leeds at bay. Fantastic point. 2 clean sheets, which is less than what I had after my night out in a curry last night, says Darryl. Grant Merrigan, fantastic result tonight. Would have taken it before the game. a lot of fans obviously chuffed the bits for that, which rightly so they should be as well. Well, can I just say a massive thanks to everybody. Darryl Hall, thanks. Swift, yes. James, thanks for popping the Geordie streamer. Good to see you as always, mate. Welcome. Simo, Tea Drinker, thanks a lot, mate. Cheers. Cheers, Doug B. Cheers, Zen. Cheers, Billy. Cheers, Swift. Viv73, thank you. Swift, thank you. Michael Hood, Laurie Smackums, thanks, mate. Anytime. Lex, shame they didn't take it. Sounded like a game they could have won, says Lex. Thanks for joining in. Man of the match, Ballard on 9, says Daisy, says Danny Ballard. Colin, mate, just so proud of the lads tonight. Yeah. Very passionate considering who we were facing. Very good. Actually watch the lads live for once. Thanks again, Cabby. Yeah, you're welcome, everybody. I think Sunderland put up. Yeah. God's sake. I am gonna go for. I'm gonna go for Neil, I think. Right, cheers, guys. I'm going to end the stream now. Honestly, I'm so pleased with how many has been tuning in tonight because it's been on Sky. Thank you very much, and I'll be posting some more videos through the week. I'll be doing a review of this game and stuff. And meet actually tomorrow, and join me again live for Saturday, and we will be playing West Brom away. So we'll see you